And before starting the official inaugural addresses and official ceremony, I would like to request each participant and each guest speaker, please take care of your mic whenever there is no need to switch on your mic. So you are all requested, please switch off your mic. Please take care uh, about your mic because it's in your hand, so we have to respect others when they are speaking. So please take care about the mic button. Dr. Anita Singh has entered. Ma'am, should I make Dr. Anita Singh co-host? Jaswinder ma'am, please let me know. Okay. Dr. Brigity Tan has joined us. Dr. Brigity Tan is one of the guest speaker for today's session. Hello, Dr. Brigity. Hello, Dr. Tan. Please check your mic and your camera.
Thank you. Can you see me and hear me?
Yes, you are audible and perfectly visible. Ma'am, I am making you co-host. Thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us. Thank you. So, after 2 minutes, we are going to start. Dr. Jastinder Mehta, please let me know who is the moderator of the today's event, or I have to moderate the event, ma'am.
You only have to moderate. Supriya ma'am,
Yes,
as
ma'am.
per decision, you have to moderate. You are moderator.
Sure, ma'am. Sure. Okay, ma'am. Okay, no issue, ma'am. So, ma'am, all the students and all the faculty members from the Career College Bhopal has joined us, ma'am.
Ma'am, very few have joined. We have we have almost
Okay.
100 staff members and maybe joining.
Uh-huh.
We have shared link
Okay.
with all our
That's great.
students also. They will also be joining.
Mm-hmm.
We can start our program. We can start our
Okay, ma'am.
session.
Okay. Sure, ma'am. Sure. So, good morning, one and all. I am Dr. Supriya Pathak, the Director Foreign Affairs of Team Witty Gossip Association. And on behalf of whole team Witty Gossip Association and whole team of Career College Bhopal, today we are going to start our day 8, the day 8 Sustainable Development Goal 8. So today we will address the Sustainable Development Goal 8, which is decent work and economic growth. And for this day, I am very grateful and I offer my sincere gratitude towards the team Career College Bhopal for becoming the host institute for accepting our invitation to host day 8. So thank you Charanjit Kaur ma'am, thank you Jaswinder Mehta ma'am for hosting day 8 for the official inaugural address from the Team Witty Gossip Association. I would like to invite our mentor, Estara, Ambassador Dr. Estara Mala from the land of Malaysia. Ma'am, please begin the official ceremony, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Supriya. Namaste and warm greetings to dear all from Malaysia, Medicaps University and Witty Gossip Association. I, Professor Dr. Esther Mala, your mentor of this grand global peace and sustainable development goal summit 2024, gladly expressing immense gratitude and heartfelt appreciation, extending a warm vote of thanks on behalf of Witty Gossip Association and Medicap University to all our honorable delegates, distinguished speakers, and students. It is an honor to have such a diverse and influential conference today, united by our commitment to fostering equitable and sustainable economic progress worldwide and under SDG 8, decent work and economic growth. SDG 8 stands as a beacon of hope, calling for the promotion of inclusive economic growth and the creation of decent work for all. In a world grappling with unprecedented challenges, achieving this goal has never been more crucial. We must address the disparities in employment opportunities, ensure fair wages, and prioritize the well-being of workers across all sectors. Today, as we convene to discuss strategies and share insights, let us remember that our actions here have the power to transform lives and uplift entire communities. By fostering environment where every individual can thrive professionally and economically, we pave the way for a brighter, more prosperous future for generations to come. I urge each of you to engage wholeheartedly in this discussion and sharing ahead, to collaborate and to innovate as we strive to turn the vision of SDG 8 into a tangible reality. Together, let us embark on this journey towards a world where every person has the opportunity to achieve their fullest potential. With great honor, I would like to invite Dr. Supriya Pathak to invite our first distinguished speaker. Welcome to all.
Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Ambassador Esther Mala, for the inaugural address. Now, I would like to invite our mentor of this day 8, the Honorable Dr. Charanjit Kaur, who is the Lady of Iron, who is the most intellectual person. Dr. Charanjit Kaur, he is the principal from Career College, Bhopal. So, Dr. Charanjit Kaur, thank you very much. And now I am requesting you, ma'am, please share your thoughts. Please share your words of wisdom, ma'am. Please, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Dr. Supriya. We are really obliged and we are privileged to express our views. And considering Career College is really a great
Can we have a gesture before Madam's presentation?
Ma'am, Dr.
Supriya?
Esther Mala, actually, ma'am, she is the mentor. Yes, ma'am, Dr. Esther Mala is the mentor, ma'am, right? Dr. Jasinder Mehta, could you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, she is the mentor, ma'am. She is the mentor. But if you
Can
want,
we have joining hands?
Yes.
Group
Sure,
photo
ma'am.
before Madam's presentation?
Yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Sure, sure. So our honorable guest speaker from the land of Kosovo, Europe, has also joined us from the University of Hadzivica. Dear Ankelada, please check your mic and please switch on your camera.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, dear. It's really nice to see you here, dear. It's really
Can
nice
you
to see you.
can you see me and can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, yes, dear, yes. So, dear, we have officially begun the ceremony. Now, we are having the group photographs for the joining hands gesture because the theme of the Global Peace and Sustainable Development Summit 2024 says that we believe let's connect the nations by joining hands. So I am requesting all of you, please open your camera and please do the gesture like this. So we are having the group photograph for the joining hands gesture. Please open your camera and please do this gesture, all of you. I am requesting to you. Yes. Okay. Uh-huh. One. Uh, Christiana and Estara, I am requesting to you, please click the photographs. Please take the screenshots. Christiana, if possible, please take the screenshots.
There is two sets of screen, and I've done it.
Okay,
Second
two
is-
sets of
yeah.
screen. You have done it, right? Okay, dear. Okay, great, great. So I think the all hand joining gestures has done, Astara, or should we wait?
Done.
Done. Okay, that's
Yes.
great. That's
They're
great.
good to go.
So thank you, all the guest speakers, all the participants, to become a a most potential part of this movement. Let's joining hands. Let's connect the nations for the peace, for the prosperity, and for the more sustainable world. So now, moving ahead, I would like to request Dr. Charanjeet Kaur, the principal of Career College Bhopal. Ma'am, now please share your words of wisdom, ma'am, with us to address the SDG 8. Now
Thank you.
the whole virtual stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Supriya. May God bless all the speakers and all the blessed souls of national and international repute. Today, we are here for a noble cause to express our views on sustainable developmental goals leading to peace in the entire globe. Sustainable development is an idea, is a philosophy. It has abstractness in it. We work sincerely towards these goals in the as the index assessment index of 2023 indicated that India is 112th among the 166 countries. There are on total 193 countries, but 27 countries did not provide the proper and sufficient data. So it's our duty to join hands as Dr. Supriya has requested, and she could link the people from almost more than, I think, 70 countries. Global Peace Sustainable Development Summit 2024 focuses on three pillars, often referred to as the triple bottom line. They are people, planet, and profit. By understanding interplay between these three pillars, businesses can unlock new opportunities, create societal impact, and contribute towards the sustainable future for all. SDG 8 deals with decent work and economic growth. So let us start with decent work environment. It is important for the businesses to make sure that workforce feel valued, because the recent rise in AI, that is artificial intelligence, has challenged people to think that they are they might lose their jobs as they aren't skilled and are not valued anymore. We have to make them workforce believe that man has made the machines. So complete replacement of man by the machines is not possible. Even though we are getting smarter and more effective with technology, but skilled workforce will always remain in demand. Decent job is the fundamental right to lead a dignified life. Objective is to end forced labor, slavery, and increase use of child labor. In some places, children do not go to the schools as there is question of survival. Rather than getting educated, they earn for the family and themselves. There is a wage gap also between men and women. It is called the gender bias. Men earn 23% more than women. It is called exploitation. Poverty is the root cause of slavery. Now, talking about the economic growth, it is one of the central tenets of SDG 8. India has been growing at the rate of 7.5% per annum and is now fifth largest economy of the world. However, the aim is to grow at the rate of 9 to 10% per annum to become the third largest economy after US and China. 10 years back, we were 10th largest economy. India's growth story has been driven by the services sector, which constitutes 62% of India's GDP. However, the need of the hour is to go for manufacturing more and more. Government has launched many schemes like Atmanirbhar Bharat, which translate to self-reliant India. The 5 pillars of Atmanirbhar Bharat are economy, infrastructure, system, vibrant demography, and demand. In manufacturing, we have to make sure zero effect and zero defect policy. Quality has to be ensured. For procurement of raw materials, India has provided DFTP, that is duty-free tariff preferences, to 50 LDCs, that is least developed countries of the world. 34 of them are in Africa, and they are mainly exporters of intermediate parts and raw materials. India is going to lead the world through entrepreneurship culture and startups. For startups, we have fund of fund scheme and credit guarantee scheme. When we go for startups and entrepreneurship culture, job seekers will turn out to be job creators or generators. So more employment will be there for economic growth. And we maintain the quality, then our exports will improve, adding to our country's economy. Andhra Pradesh state has shown something fantastic. They have launched a scheme called Made in Andhra Pradesh. More than 500 products have been launched. Other states can also follow the footprints of Andhra Pradesh. Our country has advantage of large, youthful, well-educated, skilled workforce with diversity. It creates a vast data, which is biggest source of analytics. I would like to end by a quote. We should not measure everything in terms of GDP figures. there is something called quality of life. My sincere gratitude, appreciation, and gratefulness to Witty Gossip Group and all the knowledge partners, to be more specific, Dr. Supriya Pathak, Dr. Gunjan Shukla of 𝐶𝐞 College, and Dr. Esther Amala of Malaysia, and the entire team who provided this opportunity of expressing our views. Wishing you all the best. May God bless us all. Thank you very much.
So thank you, Dr. Charanjit Kaur, ma'am. Thank you very much. In the list of gratitudes, I would like to also add the name of Christiana Scalar from the land of Croatia. She is the lady, most intellectual lady, the powerful lady, the most wise person who actually has been joined us for the last 4 years from the very first edition. So, dear Christiana, I am really grateful to you. Actually, since morning, actually, in the Croatia, I think there is a 6 o'clock, right, dear?
Now it's 7. Now it's 7.
Now it's
7.
7, right?
Thank you
Yeah,
very
now
much,
it's
Miss
7.
Christiana. Thank you very much. My
Thank you.
genuine gratitude.
Thank you.
Thank you to share
Thank you.
knowledge and experience here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Dr. Charanjit Kaur, now moving ahead, can we take your screenshot, ma'am, for joining hands? Yes, ma'am. Please do this. Ma'am, you have to a little bit up. You have to put your hands a little bit up. Yes. Ma'am, ma'am, see here. Haji, right. Done, ma'am. Done. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Okay. So thank you, Dr. Charanjit Kaur, for your wonderful and your remarkable speech, ma'am. Thank you very much. So, dear Esther Mala, would you like to share your views about Dr. Charanjit Kaur ma'am's speech?
Dr. Charanjit, how could I ever express how I feel about your opening speech for all your speakers? Such a pleasant, captivating, and insightful speech, ma'am. And you focus a lot on employment, yeah, which is really an important factor in everybody's life. As we see now in India itself, especially in engineering, there's many graduates, but very few are placed for jobs. So it's not only in engineering, in many sectors, faculties, many graduates graduating, because every family has a graduate now, even in Malaysia, more than one graduate. So this means we have to create more startups, initiative to have more startups, and to create jobs. So the government and higher institution and the community, everybody is involved in contributing to this employment sector, and also to the startups. Thank you, ma'am, for enlightening us. Thank you very much. Back
So
to
now
you, Dr.
moving
Supriya.
ahead. Yes, thank you. Thank you, dear Sarah. Thank you very much. Now moving ahead, I would like to invite my dear friend from the land of Kusava, dear Ankaleda Lulat. The whole virtual stage is yours. And thank you very much for accepting our invitation from the team of Witty Gossip Association and from the team of Career College Bhopal. Dear Aggalida Lulaj is a faculty member of the finance field, and she is from the University of 𝐒𝐮𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐥 𝐏𝐞a𝐜𝐞, Europe. So, dear Aggalida,
Thank you. Thank you once again for inviting me. Really, I'm very honored and very grateful to be here. Thank you, dear Professor Supriya. It's a great pleasure to cooperate with you as always. And if I can, I will share my screen, but can you allow me
Yes, dear. Yes, dear. You are a co-host now.
Okay, thank you. Just a moment. Can you see my presentation clearly? Okay, thank you once again. I am Enkelida Lulay from State of the Kosovo. I am Professor of Finance and Accounting. Today I am going to talk more about this very interesting topic, and as well, just a moment because I have some problems with. And I will make a relationship with my case study. My topic for today is driving economic growth, sustainable profit strategies for business in alignment with SDG 8. And what next? As you can see in this slide, you will have the opportunity to know more about this topic, the change in the basic attitude, learn a special skill. And as I mentioned before, I will make a relationship with my case study, my paper published on Web of Science and Scopus as well. And what next? In this slide, you can see some contribution with so many authors related to this topic. So I'm going to say something corporate social responsibility. So many businesses, many companies are integrating sustainable practice into their operation as part of their corporate social responsibility initiatives aligned with SDG 8 to promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth. And what about another contribution from different authors, as you can see in this slide? Example, what about some triple bottom line? Adopting sustainable profit strategies involves considering not just financial gains, but also social and environmental impacts, emphasizing the triple bottom line, example, people, planet, and profit. Another contribution is related to innovation and efficiency. Embracing sustainability often drives innovation and efficiency with companies or with businesses. Companies that prioritize sustainable practice tend to find creative solutions to reduce waste, energy consumption, etc. And what about example consumer demand? So consumer preference are shifting towards ethically sourced and environmentally friendly products and services. Businesses or companies that respond to this demand by integrating sustainable practice can gain a competitive edge and drive economic growth by supporting SDG 8. And what next? So, as I mentioned before, I'm going to say something from this case study published on Web of Science related to some 3 models in technology, innovation, and service related to SDG 8. And what next? What about this paper example? The aim is to analyze what is the impact of 3 indicators, this or technology, innovation, and services for sustainable business profit through customers based on some different models, or IGT, B2C, CSS, or CST, and MDS. And to know more about the results, you will have the opportunity to see in the next slides. As you can see, some hypotheses, the 4 hypotheses. Example, the main hypothesis, the factors of Model TS and IGT have a significant impact on the sustainable business profit through customers. And example, the factors of the models ICRM and B2C have a significant impact on sustainable business profit through customers. And what next? You can see these models, in my opinion, based on my experience in some companies as financial managers as well as professor, it's very important to have a sustainable profit for all companies around the world. And the first model is technology, innovation and service, or another models, innovation and growth team, innovative customer relationship management or business to customer, customer service and support, customer service technology, and multidimensional scaling or MDS. What is the best way, or what is the right choice or wrong choice? And you can see in the next slide. In this slide, you will see some descriptive statistics related to this topic, example, gender, age, business years, and so on. And as well, you can see some econometric models and results for related to SDG 8. Example, what about GMO or regression analysis? All of this variables are very, very important for this model, or TS technology, innovation and service, and IGT, innovation growth team. And to know more about, you can see in this slide. So please keep in mind that if the workers and staff are polite during the purchases of customers, then the profit will increase and will be stable by 57%. Or if the workers and staff have the knowledge and offer advice during the purchases of customers, then the profit will increase and will be stable by 37%. Or another variables based on these results, if the workers and staff are efficient and transparent with customers, then the profit will be increased and will be stable by 22%. Or another results from different variables is that if the workers and staff deal more quickly with the customer requests during the purchases or performance of services, then the profit will increase and will be stable by 52%. As you can see, what about the beta coefficient? All of these variables are very important for businesses, but the most significant for sustainability of the business profit are F number 1, 67, and F number 2, 16. Or workers and staff are polite and quickly handle customer requests during their purchases. And what next? Some results from econometric models for different models. As I mentioned before, some results from GMO test or regression analysis for ICRM and B2C models. But what next? What about for each variables for these models or B2C, business to customers? So if the business provides pre-purchases support, example, instruction, advisement, clarification, etc. to customers, then the profit will increase and will be stable by 55%. Or another results from another variables included in these models is if the business or companies provide post-purchases support, example, shipping, instruction for use, etc., for consumers, then the profit will increase and will be stable by 35%. Or if the business or companies provide support for purchasing and ordering the online product services for consumers, then the profit will increase and will be stable by 23%. And based on beta coefficient, all of these variables are very, very important for companies or businesses. But the two factors or variables that have a great significance for the sustainability of business profit are F1 and F2, or the provision of business support to customers during and after the purchases of product and services. And what next? Some results from econometric models for another models or CSS and CST models. Based on these results, all of these factors have a great significance for companies related to SDG 8. And what next? What about for each variables? So example, if the businesses or companies offers easier access to product and services through their online page, then the profit will increase and will be stable by 38%. Or if the business offered apps to address customer concerns about the product and services, then the profit will increase and will be stable by 62%. Or if the companies offers apps to provide, example, product services advice for consumers, as I mentioned before, for information, for how to use and so on, then the profit will increase and will be stable by 58%. Or if companies offers apps to inform about the latest discounts for consumers, then the profit will increase and will be stable by 44%. As you can see, all of this based on beta coefficient, all of these variables, factors are very important for companies, but the two factors that have a great significance for the sustainability of the business profit are F2, 71%, and F3, 70%, or apps to address customer concerns about the product and services, as well as apps to provide product service advice for consumers. And this is for how to say some recommendation and conclusion related to this MDS analysis or multidimensional scaling. As you can see, the most important dimension is that offering different methods for making payment to consumers from the business and providing information and on price, on quality, discounts, and product transportation. Some recommendation. So for the TIS and IGT models have a great significance is F number 2 or factor number 2 and number 1. For ICRM and B2C models are have a great importance for models is factor number 1 and number 2 as well. And I am going to say that it is strongly recommended that business or company should take into account 3 indicators or technology, innovation, and service in each stage of the business to have a stable profit. You can see some research brought a new approach for sustainable profit related to SDG 8, an analysis of business through consumers, as well as an analysis of consumer through businesses. Some literature for this topic. And thank you so very much. It was a great pleasure. If you have any question, please feel free to ask me. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, dear Ankaleda. dear uncle leader, I would like to request you, please, uh, the, please be a part of our movement and please join your hands, dear. We would like to capture your screenshot, dear. Dear uncle leader, are you there?
Yes. Can you see me? Because
Okay.
my camera is open.
No, dear, cannot see.
Uh-huh.
I think I have
I can
lost.
only see your photo here.
Can you see me now? Because my camera is open.
No, it was okay all this while.
I think I have problems with internet.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So, dear uncle leader, could you do one thing? Could you please log out and log in again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe there is a
Yes, if I can. Just a moment,
yes,
please. I'm
so
sorry
that
for
we can. No issue, dear, no issue. So it's Ankelida Lulat from the land of Kosovo, Europe, and I hope the presentation was very technical and it's full of facts and figures related to the case study of the Ankelida, which she has done on the decent work and the economic growth in the University of 𝐒𝐿𝐴. Yes, now she has again joined us. Yes, dear Ankelida, welcome back.
Can you see now? Can you see me now or not?
Dear Astara, please let me know.
I'm searching for her name. Just now it was on top. Maybe it's at the bottom. Let me
Yes,
see.
it's
Or maybe I
Ankelida,
don't.
dear.
Yeah. Uh, she logged in. Yeah. It's actually, if you see on the screen, it's not visible. But
Yes,
I
yes,
want to
she is.
pin her. Yeah.
Yes, even I cannot see her
Yeah.
face, right?
If we cannot see her, yeah, if we cannot see her on the screen, means she's not
Uh-huh.
there for us. I don't know why, yeah.
Okay.
But anyway,
So,
the
yes, dear Ankelida, please let me know. Are you from a mobile phone or a desktop?
No, I am from my laptop, from desktop.
maybe it's in
Okay,
internet.
okay.
I
So,
don't know what.
yes, dear, my technical team suggests that you have the problem of net, dear. So that's why your picture is not uploaded properly, dear.
Yeah.
Your video is not working.
I'm
Yes.
sorry
So
for
we can
that.
do yes, dear. Dear, we can do one thing. You can join with your mobile phone so that we can capture your screenshot, dear.
Okay,
With
I'm
join.
sorry. Just a moment, I'm going.
Okay. No issue, dear. No issue.
How to say in your language, thank you.
We can say that dhanyavad.
Dhanyavad.
Tarnevat, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, dear. Thank you very much. And my warm gratitude, dear, for joining us. Dear, we are waiting. You could join, dear, with your mobile phone.
Just a moment.
Okay, dear. Okay. Sometimes happens. Actually, we are living in this ultra modern business world, but still we have to face is the technical glitches, and actually we have to obey the rules of the data companies.
Can you
Yes, just hold on, dear. I am. Yes, yes, dear. We
We
can
got
see
her.
your beautiful
Yes.
face.
Yes, we got her.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
We,
great. I am giving you a spotlight, dear. That's
great.
great. Done, dear. Done. Done. Thank you very much, dear. Thank you. It's great to see you, dear. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. So, dear Esther Mala, please
Yes.
share your views about the factful
Yes.
information shared by our beloved professor from the land of Kosovo, dear Ankaleda. Yes, dear. Please share your
Yes,
views.
Dr. Supriya, I do concur with you. Yeah, she has enlightened us with such an impressive, detailed research findings, facts and figures, and analysis table relating stress to the business sustainability. Yeah, we really need time to go and explore further into your facts and figure to appreciate better. But I'm very sure you are expert in this area, and we are so proud to have you. Thank you so much, Dr. Ankaleda. Thank you. We love to have you again.
Thank you so much. It was a great pleasure. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Thank you very much. Yes. Now, moving ahead, I would like to call my dear professors, my dear guests of speakers, our beloved guest of speakers from the land of Philippines. Dr. Raymond, are you there? Raymond, sir? Yes, you are here. So, I would like to invite to address the challenges, targets, and issues related to the SDG 8. So, Raymond Hosnico Benzuela. Raymond, sir, now the whole virtual stage is yours, sir. Please present, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Perfectly audible, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Supriya. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. A pleasant day to everyone. And of course, mabuhay from the Philippines. My name is Raymond Banzuela, and I'm one of the technical vocational trainer here in our country. And it is a great pleasure for me to be one of the speakers for today at your prestigious event at the Global Peace and Sustainable Development Summit. And once again, thank you very much for this privilege. And please allow me to share my slide. Can you see my slide?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, okay. So, leave no one behind is the official motto of the United Nations for Sustainable Development Goals, and it serves as the guiding principle of the world's leader of 193 countries in solving the most pressing problems of today. One of the goals is to promote sustained and inclusive and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. So this means that economic growth should be a positive force for a whole planet. And this is why we must make sure that financial progress create decent and fulfilling jobs while not harming the environment. So we must protect labor rights and once and for all put a stop to modern slavery and child labor. If we promote job creation with expanded access to banking and financial services, we can make sure that uh, everybody gets the benefits of the entrepreneurship and innovation. So this goal is made up of 12 targets and 17 indicators that we will use as guide to help us overcome and achieve them. So the Decent Work Country program here in the Philippines, 2020 to 2024, reflects shared priorities of the government workers and employers in the country, focusing on employment, labor market governance, and social protection to make the country better. The International Labor Organization assists its member countries in developing the DWCP in the ways that are appropriate for their national, social, and economical development priorities. So in order to help move towards making decent work a reality and to sustain tripartite efforts in ways to work a reality to sustain and appropriate efforts for decent work. So, sorry. The DWCP's priorities are consistent with the Philippines development plan and the ambition natin 2040. It is also based on the sustainable goals and the United Nations Partnership for the Sustainable Development, both of which emphasize leaving no one behind. Our country, with regards to this Philippine Development Plan, is composed of enhancing the social fabric or the what we so called in Filipino as malasakit, and it is for us to achieve, we have to ensure people-centered, clean, and efficient governance, pursuing swift and fair administration of justice, and of course, promoting our Filipino culture and values. Another initiative of this Philippine Development Plan is to inequality reducing transformation, or what we so called in Tagalog as pagbabago in our native language. So this has to ensure expanding economic opportunities in agriculture, forestry, and fisheries, expanding economic opportunities in industries and services through trabaho at negosyo or job and business. Accelerating the human capital development, reducing vulnerability of individuals and families, and of course, building safe and secure communities. The increasing growth potential or patuloy na pag-unlad is also the goal of this development plan, which composed of reaching for the demographic dividend and vigorously advancing science, technology, and innovation. And furthermore, other things here is enabling and supportive economic development or environment, which comprises of ensuring sound macroeconomic policy and leveling the playing field through a national competition policy. And lastly, the foundations for sustainable development, and this has something about attaining just and lasting peace, ensuring security, public order, and safety, accelerating infrastructure development, and of course, ensuring ecological integrity, clean and healthy environment. So how can the Philippines achieve this? Including here in the development plan is the implementation, of course, and monitoring, coordination among government agencies, the private sector, the civil society, and development partner is required for this project to be implemented. So the coordination's efficiency is determined by adherence to the intended outcomes, whereas the plan's effectiveness is measured by the extent of improvement in the quality of life of Filipinos, particularly the poor and the marginalized group. So using data from the Philippine Statistic Office, or sorry, the Philippine Statistics Authority here in the Philippines, the National Economic and Development Authority Secretariat will monitor headline indicators at the national and subnational levels, including a real gross domestic product growth, real per capita income growth, poverty and subsistence rate in both rural and urban areas, and the employment opportunities. In collaboration with the implementing agencies, the NEDA will also prioritize and sequence strategies, policies, and programs, including the proposed legislation. And in addition to an annual socioeconomic report, this will be reported to the appropriate NEDA board committees, cabinet clusters, and interagencies committees. So by 2024, the life are expected that all of Filipino is enjoy the strong-rooted, comfortable, and secure life. Strong-rooted meaning Filipino families live together. There is work-life balance so that there is time to spend with family even for the members who work or weekends, families and friends enjoy time together in parks and recreational centers. And it is a high trust society with a strong sense of community. So there are volunteer opportunities and Filipinos spend time to serve the community, help others who are in need, and contribute to the various causes. Comfortable in a sense of no one is poor, no one is ever hungry. Filipino families live in a comfortable homes with the desired amenities, and secured tenure. Families and friends are within reach because transport is convenient and affordable, and they can take a vacation together within the country and abroad. Children receive quality education that they realize their potential and become productive members of the society. Decent jobs that bring sustainable income are available, including opportunities for entrepreneurship. And of course, they feel secure over their entire lifetime. So they expect to live long and enjoy a comfortable life, a fun retirement, and there are resources to cover unexpected expenses, and there are savings. So they feel safe in all places in the country. Filipino trust their government because it is free of corruption and provides service to all its citizens equally. So that's the ambition of the the Philippine government by 2040. So TESDA, or the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority here, is to which I am accredited and affiliated, has shared their milestone through their National Technical Education and Skills Development Plan from 2018 to 2022, which expresses and highlights the most notable policies, programs, and projects implemented by the technical, vocational education, and training sector in pursuit of the plan's objective. As part of its mandate under TESDA Section 21 of Republic Act 7796, the TESDA collaborated with the key players in the Tibet sector, the government, the industry, labor, academe, and NGOs, and even learners to develop and implement a comprehensive plan for the Philippine Tibet. So, the milestone report details how the plan's objectives were translated into concrete policies and programs in a concerted effort to prepare our learners and workers for the challenges of an ever-changing world. So the report also highlights achievements in leveraging Tibet for social inclusion and poverty reduction by increasing Filipino employability. The milestone also include how the Tibet sector responded to the challenges posed by the Fourth Industrial Revolution and, of course, the COVID-19 pandemic. TESDA has continued to adopt and implement various strategies in order for the Tibet provider and the sector as a whole for capitalize on opportunities and overcome challenges, allowing learners, communities, and the economic to become more resilient in the post-pandemic digital age. So, the TESDA is required by law to develop a medium-term six plan for the development of middle-level workforce that will guide all stakeholders, the government, academe, industry, local and international organizations, students, and the general public in the development of the middle-level workforce. In accordance to this mandate, the TESDA, in collaboration with its partners and relevant sectors, has developed the National Technical Education and Development Plan. The port in the series of such plan is to mobilize and encourage the full participation of industries, labor and government units, and the relevant educational institution in the development of the Philippine human capital resources. So the National Education and Skills Development Plan serve as the compass that guides Tibet actors, movers, and leaders in developing responsive policies and implementing programs for the sector, as well as the supporting national government broader development goals and objectives. So this envision a vibrant quality Tibet for decent work and sustainable inclusive growth. And this overarching theme is the rallying cry that primes the TESDA and its partners to achieve the primary objective of galvanizing and strengthening the Tibet multi-pronged strategic thrusts, such as the global competitiveness and workforce readiness, and the social equity for the workforce inclusion and poverty reduction. So this plan has identified the country's key employment generators and divided into three groups. That first group consists of industry with large employment bases and rapid growth. And during the plan period, these industries are expected to generate the greatest number of jobs: the tourism, hotels, restaurants, constructions, the business processing, outsourcing, IT, transportation, communication, and storage are among them. And the second category includes the industries with a large employment base but a negative or a minimal growth rate in the past. And however, because of this industry contributes significantly to the economy in terms of the value added in employment, the government wishes to revitalize and strengthen them. So the agriculture, fisheries, and forestry, including agro-processing and manufacturing, are among them. Okay, the third group is composed of industries in health, wellness, and other social services with high growth rates and good economic multiplier effect. All right, so experts believe that the this plan and rapid technological advancement will render many jobs obsolete, and this would make it difficult for the country's Tibet providers to keep up with the fast pace of innovation, technological change, and advanced workforce skills requirements. And another issue is the low employability of Philippine Tibet graduate, which stands at only 65%. So Tibet providers are frequently chastised for providing and producing low-level skills and technical education. And this reality spills over into the labor economy, which is characterized by 70-30 ratio of low-value work to mid to high-value job. And the second one is, of course, the full implementation here of the textbook courses under the K-12 program that has worsened the sector's lack of facilities and equipment, qualified trainers and assessors, and other resources. Because the Philippine Tibet sector is largely supply driven, this reality exacerbates job and skills mismatches and underemployment. So the migration of Filipino workers is also causing brain and brown drain, reducing the pool of qualified and skilled workers. So here in 2013, there were 10.2 million Filipinos living abroad farther, and there has been a decrease in the number of industry enterprises participating in the Tibet, as evidenced by the low enrollment of enterprise-based modality training, despite the fact that it is the most successful modality in terms of employability, with an average employment rate of 68.9%. And lastly, access to the Tibet is also a problem due to limited funding and other limited resources. Certain sectors are not served or reached by the Tibet. And one sector is the marginalized and disadvantaged poor, which accounted to 21.6% of population in 2015. All right, so the objectives of this plan to address these problems and challenges are uh, the accomplishment of these goals has been recognized to pave the way to changes in how the Philippines should view the world of work, as well as influence and create new ways of thinking, learning, and working. And our agency recognized that a more knowledgeable and skilled workforce, innovative and sustainable approaches, globally competitive standard, and ease of access and mobility for Tibet stakeholders are all required in today's world of work. And this plan is intended to address these needs, and it has proposed a strategic responses to the five objectives, and they are the Tibet with agility. This will prepare the Philippine workforce for the global competitiveness and future world of work. And of course, the Tibet with scalability, to deliver high quantity, job ready, quality workforce, and lastly, the Tibet with flexibility and sustainable social equity and economic inclusion. So these strategic responses are resolutely supported by the organizational initiatives for Tibet with conducive and enabling environment for development and quality services delivery, and Tibet with integrity to instill sector credibility and client confidence. So these responses are intended to enable Tibet to remain vigilant and adaptable to sector changes, and focuses on the preparation and anticipation of stakeholders' need through skills, forecasting and anticipation, as well as other research and development approaches, and close engagement with these clients to keep pace with their demands for the workplace and to be responsive to societal needs in general, and the development of comprehensive, inclusive, and equitable service delivery to all Filipinos. So, in order for the sector to remain relevant, the TESDA and Tibet sector commits to addressing these issues, problems, and gaps and identified in this plan. And to summarize, the plan aspires to pursue and achieve quality Tibet, for which is TESDA's commitment. So, how can TESDA or the technical education contribute to manpower and economic development of the country? So the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority is a government organization in the Philippines that provides a pre-technical vocational and training program. And the Filipino who wishes to enhance their existing skills and competencies is or to learn something new skills that can get it from the technical education. The organization is also responsible for certifying the competency of the workers in various industries, and this goal is to provide a quality technical education and training programs to Filipino citizens. They can be employed in the various industry. The organization also aims to certify the competency of workers in different fields, thus helping them acquire better job and opportunities. And as of now, based on the 2019 survey, the Philippine Statistic Authority and Target 3 of Sustainable Development for Quality Education, the Philippines has been providing millions of people already with access to at the technical and vocational education, with 2,385,472 enrolled in the course of Tibet, and while the graduate here is 2,252,208. And if we compare the passing rates, the professional licensure examinations, the certification rate of Tibet reaches 92.4%. And also due to the in-demand vocational courses, there are more Filipinos who are interested here because there are many opportunities they can get. And recently, last January 2023, the TESDA management issued a statement of preliminary report of their study on the employment of Tibet graduates, and it was announced that 8 out of 10 TechBook graduates were hired, giving the Tibet sector an employment rate of 84.72%. And it is conducted annually to assess the relevance and effectiveness of technical vocational programs, while the certification rates of 93% were in 751,500 out of 808,200 assessed and successfully earned their national certificates in their respective qualifications. Okay, according to Publicus Asia Pahayag, this year, TESDA received the highest approval rates and trust ratings among government agencies, while TESDA has consistently ranked first in Publicus Asia survey, and this is the first time in 2 years that the agency has ranked first in both approval and trust rating. And this accomplishment can be attributed to the policies and strategic programs pursued by the agency for the Tibet sector in accordance with the two-pronged strategic thrust of the National Technical Education and Skills Development Plan for global competitiveness and workforce readiness, and TESDA for the social equity and poverty reduction. Okay, as you can see in my slide, this is the training that I provide in our institution, whereas as a Tibet trainer, I ensure that all of my learners can adapt what they should learn in order to be prepared for societal challenges, whether local or international. And I guarantee that all of those instruction will be in accordance with the TESDA or the Tibet designated training regulation, which has been agreed upon by the industry, academia, and the government. And we shape these students to be more competitive in their fields, and we assure that all of their activities are anchored to industry demands worldwide. And fortunately, 80% of my students already have good jobs in the community, and the remain students are already abroad, and where the course they chose is also their job. And it's amusing because some of have started their own businesses such as restaurants and event management services. And I'm very happy because we are part of our community that has been able to contribute to our government's goal of providing good services and quality training to our countrymen so that they can have a decent job and contribute significantly to the growth of the economy. Okay, as you can see in my slide, I'm proud to share with you one of my successful learners under events management and food and beverage service course where he builds his own business and continues successfully until now. His clients are many and enjoy his service. Everything he learned in our training, he applies until now, and she is really thankful that she had the opportunity to study for free in our school through scholarship plan of TESDA. And apart from the tuition fee, she also received while studying his daily allowance. And the services she caters are here are different types of occasions such as wedding, birthday, debut, baptismal, and she also used all the talents she learned when she was still in training, such as flower arranging, the different balloon design, table napkin, set up, folding design, linen skirting, etc. And these students of mine started with a small investment until as his clients increase, her income grew. She gradually brought her things to increase the supplies, tools, and furniture that she could use on bigger occasions. So, yeah. So that's one of her events here in the Philippines. So, I hope I've been able to share uh, some of the plan, the concern, and issues here in our country and community, as well as how we're improving it to achieve the expected goal, particularly in obtaining a decent job and contributing significantly to our country's economic growth. So yeah, let's join our hands together and let's help each other to fight poverty and hunger by providing effective, efficient, and quality education to our youth so that they can have a good future and a decent job and by helping to lift our economy. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much once again, Dr. Supriya Patak, the team Witty Gossip Organization, Medicaps University, and the Career College. Have a great day to all of you. Namaste and God bless us all.
Sir, could you stop sharing a screen so that I can? Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Sir, I appreciate your presentation, sir. Definitely, when we believe that we have to focus our mind towards the job creations, not job stealing. Only then every country, every nation will achieve their sustainable growth, will achieve their sustainable economic growth. So thank you very much, sir. You are doing an incredible job. You are an entrepreneur and you are motivating your students about the entrepreneurship. Yes, sir. So please do this so that I can capture your picture. Yes, please smile, sir. Great, sir. Great. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. So, dear Christiana Scaler from the land of Croatia, dear, would you like to say something about the presentation of Raymond, sir?
Yes, I'm going to school just in this moment, but it's very interesting to see the good practice in Philippines, because we in Croatia accept a lot of workers from Philippines in area of tourism, and they participate as waiters, as cookers, etc. And they are very good worker. And because of international contract between Croatian state and Philippine state, they have decent work. They have the equal payment as in Croatia, Croatian people, and they have food, home, and traffic cost for free. And they are very satisfied to work in Croatia. And I have a notes, but wait a minute, because I'm outside now. My point of view of your presentation, it's really interesting. This part. Wait a minute. Leave no one behind. Program project, people-centered initiative that you present on the end. Transformation in expanding economic opportunity. And I understand Matatag is a family connection. Maginahava infrastructures, connection between them. And Panatag is environment connections. And that is a wonderful strategic response for agility, scalability, flexibility, and sustainability. And we in Croatia developed the same thread and the same vocational. Wait a minute. New curriculum for vocational education, and because of that, we developed micro qualification during 3 months or 6 months to develop the people in new skills, in new technologies, in industry 4.0, for example, and in AI, in that part. And it is wonderful to see how it's the similar development in Philippines and in Croatia. Thank you, Dr. Raymond, Professor Raymond. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Christiana. Thank you very much. I must say,
I'm going to school now.
Yes, you are going to school, even you are walking, but still you are noticing each and every presentation so meticulously, so meticulously. So thank you, dear. Thank you very much for your sharings and for your thoughts about the presentation of Sir Raymond. Thank you, dear. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, and have a nice day. I will listen you in one more half hour. Thank you.
Yeah, sure, dear. Sure. Carry on,
Bye-bye.
dear. Carry on. Okay. I must say, the two mentors of this Global Peace and Sustainable Development Summit, Professor Dr. Ambassador Esther Mala and Professor Christiana Skeller, both are very meticulous, both intellectual persons. Thank you very much. Now, moving ahead, I would like to request Dr. Jaswinder Mehta. Jaswinder Mehta? Jaswinder Mehta, ma'am? Are
Yes.
you listening me?
Yes, Supriya ma'am. I'm here.
Okay,
Yes.
ma'am. Okay. Here, I would like to request Dr. Bigati Tan and Randy, sir. Sir, after sharing views of Dr. Jaswinder Mehta, now we will have your presentations. So be ready, sir. Dr. Bigati Tan and Dr. Randy, be ready. Okay. So, Jaswinder Mehta, ma'am, please carry on, ma'am. You are co-host already.
My sharing has been disabled by any attendee. I don't know. Host.
Okay, yes. Checking, ma'am. Checking. Just hold on. Yes, ma'am. You are again co-host, ma'am. Now you can share the screen, ma'am. Here, I would like to mention that for hosting the day 8 from the Career College Bhopal, Dr. Jaswinder Mehta is one of the key coordinator. So thank you, ma'am, for all your sincere efforts. Jaswinder, ma'am, please
I don't know
let me
what
know.
is
Is there
happening.
any technical? Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay. Ma'am, please let me know what is showing in the screen, ma'am.
Actually, my
Ma'am,
PPT is
I
not visible. I have opened,
okay.
but I'm not
Okay.
able to share it.
Share the screen. Okay, okay. Ma'am, is there any someone is in your office, ma'am? Can we take help? Ma'am,
Yes.
you can do also. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you can do one thing. Ma'am, you can log out and log in again, ma'am. Meanwhile, we can take the presentation of foreign speakers because already there is a midnight. Yes, I think in the okay, ma'am. So, Dr. Brigittian, are you ready?
Yes, Dr. Supriya. Can you
Okay,
hear
so
me?
ma'am, you are already host. Yes, ma'am. Definitely, ma'am. Loud and clear. And we are very thrilled to see your beautiful face, ma'am. Your face is very mesmerizing, full of energy, full of synergy, ma'am. Yes.
Hmm.
Okay. So, Dr. Mehta, ma'am, could you please log in again? Okay. So, moving ahead, I would like to request Dr. Bigati Ten from the USA, from the land of USA, ma'am, please share your views to address the SDG 8, all the issues, all challenges, all targets related to the SDG 8, decent work and economic growth. And ma'am, from the whole team of Viticossip Association and the Career College Bhopal, I offer my sincere gratitude to accept our invitation for joining the summit. Ma'am, now whole virtual stage is your ma'am. Please present.
Thank you, Dr. Pathak. Thank you very much. And thank you. Greetings to all the esteemed guests and honorable mentor as well. It's an honor and a delight to be with you here today. And with today's topic, with SDG 8, my invitations is to look at it from a slightly less common approach. we are familiar a lot of times with the goal of SDG 8 on being able to have decent work and economic growth. It is common for us to look at things in terms of the economy, the technical part of that. But just as Dr. Kaur mentions earlier, that for an economy growth, for a world to thrive, there are three components of that. And the first one being people. And the second one is our planet, and then to be able to have profit. So it is everything is collaborations really of all those. And I invite us to look at the part of the people part today as well, in addition to the technicality. And what is really that make people people? What is really what make people in this day and age where the artificial intelligence become more and more advanced, and some of them take, as mentioned earlier, taking our jobs and so forth. What makes people people, and what makes human human, and there is no robot can replace this, is actually our heart. And so it is a strength for us human to have heart, when robot and artificial intelligence don't. And at the same time, it is also where our opportunity and on occasion is our challenge. And coming from my background being a grief specialist, I would like to introduce the impact of grief. If you put me on speaker view for people who are listening to this, you will be able to see my background, which is the impact of unresolved grief on your and others' work result. And many times what we think about grief is, when we think about grief, we think strictly about the emotion. We said, oh, we feel happiness in our chest, we feel sad and all this. And yes, it is very true that grief causes all those. But what most people not realize is actually grief causes a lot more than that and has a very significant impact on our work. And one of those with the grief is grief are known, particularly unrecognized and unresolved grief. And so what I would mention in here, a lot of time when we think about grief, we think about the big four, which is when we lost a loved one, when there is a divorce, when there is a dire diagnosis, or when there is a job loss. But the true definition of grief is the unsettling feelings caused by a change, an unmet hope, as well as loss. And as the Professor Dr. Esther Mala mentioned earlier, this is we are living in the world of unprecedented challenges and changes. And keeping in mind the definitions of grief is the unsettling feeling caused by changes and challenges, let me ask you, do you know anyone in your life who has not experienced any changes and challenges in the last 3-4 years? And the unprecedented as well as unmet hope. Do you know anyone in your life who perhaps have some of their hope unmet? Might that be even job security or lack of, with the rapid advancements of artificial intelligence, as Dr. Kaur mentioned earlier? And what about in the lack of equality, whether it is gender equality or any form of other, the lack of equality can cause unmet hope. And all this can contribute to a person's to not feel well. And what happened when we have an unrecognized, unresolved grief is this is which basically what you're looking at. When somebody in front of you, the person seems to be just fine. But actually, when you look back in there, if you're able to see my screen, you see a broken heart. Now, recent studies, modern studies shows a couple things. Number one is grief causes us to have confusion, have brain fogs. Grief causes fear and resentment. Do we wonder why now, since the pandemic, which again, pandemic bring a lot of change and unhope met. So in other words, it caused a lot of grief. Do we wonder why there is an increase of conflict seemingly in the whole world? Do we wonder why people seems to have a lot of resentment of even in their microstructures, never mind the large scale? And grief also causes us to have mistakes, to make mistakes. And imagine the cost of mistakes at a workplace. In the United States, we know that the cost of grief, the loss that's come from grief in the United States alone, and this was in 2017, so before the pandemic, was $113.7 billion with a B, $1 billion every year. The estimated cost now, was still studying this, is about double of that. So it is in the close to 300 billion every year from grief. And because mistakes cost a lot of money and mistakes hamper growth. And the other part that many people don't know about grief is grief actually is much more than our emotion. Grief gets cellularized, and what it is when nowadays many studies shows, and with my background in medical field, we know very well that when somebody grieving, it causes inflammations in the body. And those inflammations, as many of us know here, inflammations lead to compromised immune system. So we'll become prone to infections. In many of us who are in less developed area, we're already living in an area with less ideal hygiene. And when we don't have the best immune systems, it's make us even more prone to illness. It's caused us prone to multitude of different chronic illness. Some of us has heard the seemingly very romantic term of die from heart attack. It's a very romantic term that actually has a medical terminology for that, Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, which means it's not just a romantic term, it's actually something that does happen, and people do die, people do experience heart attack and heart failure from grief. And then we also talk about autoimmune disease, blood pressure, heart condition, and so on and so forth. All of this, when we talk about work and economy grow, when somebody is not healthy, they are not able to do their work. Even if they're not irritable, even if they are in the best mood and behavior, any of us know that if we are not healthy, we cannot do our work to the best. And that will hamper the person grow as well as the organizations, and in ripple affect the society's growth as well. And so grief causes that. And the most recent study shows that what is going on in your heart, the signals in your heart actually can be measured using EKG, which is the electrocardiogram, which is heart rhythm measurement. Whatever going on in your heart can be measured by EKG, affecting the heart rhythm of somebody across the room. This is both for person, and they use also animals to measure this. So in other words, if you have a unrecognized, unresolved grief, and you're sitting in one part of the office or the building, the office floor, imagine the person who is communicating with you and having a meeting in the same room with you. Nowadays, we shows that whether it's sadness, whether it's anger, whatever a feeling of that comes from your grief, that change your heart rhythm, but it is will also change the heart rhythm of somebody around you as far as across the room from you. And naturally, if we are in that situations and we feel uneasy, let me ask you, have you ever been in a situation where you perhaps walk in a room or perhaps meeting somebody and the person sitting there smiling at you, but you feel uneasiness? I see some nodding. And in that scenario, what would you do? You will become protective. You will become defensive, but at least protective, because now you feel uneasy. Something is going on and you might not know what it is. And perhaps, and the truth is, it probably has nothing to do with you, but now you feel uneasy. What would the likelihood for you to collaborate with this person? What would the likelihood for you to be able to trust and welcome this person fully into your organizations or join them with an open hands and open hearts? Probably less. And when we are less likely to be able to connect with others, we know that collaborations equates to more ease in growth. Collaborations together, we grow better. And when in that scenario, we want to be able to recognize what's going on. So what are some proposed solutions for this? It's actually a lot easier in a way. Sometimes when we talk about grief and we talk about emotions, many of us immediately think, oh my gosh, is he going to recommend everybody get counseling? Can you imagine if we were to do something like that? That will be a little bit unfathomable. And actually, I invite you to just look at yourself. I've been speaking for only several minutes. How much understanding do you have now about what's going on in you and perhaps your colleagues? And bring to mind perhaps somebody whose behavior has not been the way his or her behavior used to. Perhaps a group of people. A lot of time, understanding goes a very long way. Yes, some people do need help with counselor and therapists and grief specialists, but the majority of us don't. The majority of us human with our hearts has best intentions and also have intelligence. And education is one very simple and extremely powerful way to be able to educate and to allow people to understand what's going on with themselves, as well as understand what's going on with somebody whom they are interacting. Now that you have these informations, think about somebody who is unreasonably irritable, perhaps recently. And now that you have these informations, think about that person and imagine, just as to give a sort of an opportunity of doubt, if you know that person is grieving because that person has experienced changes and challenges recently, think about this person who was offensive or seemingly very defensive to you. And think about this person as grieving. How more likely are you to approach this with more calmness, with more openness, perhaps even compassion, instead of us becoming defensive when somebody behaves in a certain manner? How likely are we going to be able to connect and collaborate just from having some understanding without any counseling at all? And so one thing that I propose is educations. Here in the United States and in many countries, we teach our children this natural disaster preparedness. When I was in California, Californian students are taught earthquake preparedness. And practically in many different places back in when I grew up in Indonesia, we were taught natural disaster preparedness. Natural disaster often happen, not always, thankfully. Grief and changes in life, on the other hand, will happen if we live long enough. What if one idea is, as we teach our children to prepare for natural disaster, we allow them an additional 15 minutes, 20 minutes to teach them the understanding about themselves, what makes them human and what makes their heart tender, and how they can effectively navigate that by using very basic tools. And in terms of organizations, in terms of schools, while many of us, when we think about grief, we think about counseling, the truth is there are certain basic principles that if people who are in a key position, such as managers, trainers, teachers, able to understand this one step further, I do a lot of company trainings, organizational training, and all we need to do is to have them have a little bit one step further understanding. Because everybody, if you teach everybody to understand what's going on, all they need to do is to be able to recognize it when the person's not recognizing it and be able to be proactive. Proactiveness prevents further damage. And in very simple way, most organizations, when an employee joins, they receive employee handbook and training. What if we allow an additional 15 minutes into that just to allow them? Practically all managers in a company, teachers, are trained. What if those training has an additional 15, 20 minutes that allow us to be back to what we are, human with heart, that yes, can get hurt, but also has the greatest capacity to heal and be compassionate, connect, and collaborate to each other, allowing us to grow in our workplace, in our school, in our society, and as the world together. Thank you.
Dr. Supriya, can I ask Dr. G𝐥𝐸𝐻 a simple question? I think she's the best person who can give us the explanation. Yeah, I take this golden opportunity. Wow, Doctor, can you please explain to us what is the fine line between the difference between depression and grief?
Wonderful questions, Dr. Mala, and thank you for your questions very much. And the depressions and grief is a little bit different in that, firstly, depression can lead to grief and grief can lead to depression. So the two can be connected. But some of us truly experience depressions without any significant emotional impact. And we know nowadays that sometimes that comes from chemical imbalances. Now, can grief worsen depressions? Absolutely. In many cases, I work a lot with suicide cases, and a lot of times when there is a depression, it's add on grief to that. It causes even worse depressions. But depressions can occur without grief, and vice versa. And in many cases, the grief is not necessarily expressed as depressions. Most of us will think unknowingly that grief typically expressed as sadness and depression. And the truth is the most common external expression of grief is anger. Anger instead of depression or sadness is the most common external expression of grief.
Yeah, one simple point which can help us to differentiate between depression and grief is that one is external and induced by chemical changes, and another one is internal. Great explanation. Thank you so much, Dr. Bridget. Back to you, Dr. Supriya. Do you want me to give feedback or?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Tan, for explaining, for sharing your views that we have to avoid the situations of the depression, confusions, lots of grief cases on our workplace to make the workplaces more decent one. So thank you, dear ma'am. Thank you very much. Ma'am, could you like to do this? Yes, ma'am, please. Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. Thank you. Thank you. So now, Dr. Jaswinder Mehta, I hope your problem is sorted out. Now, ma'am, can we present with your screen, ma'am?
Yes. My screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Perfectly, ma'am.
Okay. So, um, good afternoon, all of you. Goal 8, that is decent work and economic growth, promotes sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. Economic growth should be a positive force for the whole planet. We must make sure that financial progress creates decent and fulfilling jobs while not harming the environment. We must protect labor rights and once and for all put a stop to modern slavery and child labor. Promote job creation with expanded access to banking and financial services. We must make sure that everybody gets the benefits of entrepreneurship and innovation. Decent work advancing opportunities for women and men to obtain decent and productive work in conditions of freedom, equity, security, human dignity, etc. As today, I have got responsibility of explaining all the 12 targets of this goal of economic growth and decent work. Everyone can help to make sure that we meet the global goals. Use these 12 targets to create action to ensure decent work and sustainable economic growth. Target 8.1, that is sustainable economic growth, sustain per capita economic growth in accordance with national circumstances and in particular at least 7% gross domestic product growth per annum in the least developed countries. Next target is diversify, innovate and upgrade for Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. You're audible and visible. Please go ahead. Yeah, you're on the next slide.
Diversify, innovate and upgrade for economic productivity. Achieve higher levels of economic productivity through diversification, uh, technological upgrading and innovation, including through a focus on high value added and labor intensive sectors. Target 8.3, promote policies to support job creation and growing enterprises. It promotes development-oriented policies that support activities, decent job creation, entrepreneurship, creativity, and innovation, and encourage the formalization, economic growth of micro through access to financial services. Target 8.4, improve resource efficiency in consumption and production. It focuses on improving progressively through 2030 global resource efficiency in consumption and production and endeavor to decouple economic growth from environmental degradation in accordance with 10-year framework of program on sustainable consumption and production, with developed countries taking the lead. Next target, that is 8.5, focuses on full employment and decent work with equal pay. Hats off to target makers. By 2030, we have to achieve full employment for all women and men, including young people and persons with disabilities, and equal pay for work and equal value. Target 8.6 focuses on to promote youth employment, training, and education, substantially reduce the proportion of youth not in employment, education, and training. Next target, that is 8.7, focuses on to end modern slavery and child labor. We have to take immediate measures to eradicate forced labor and modern slavery and human trafficking, eliminate worst forms of all forms of child labor. क्या show me next नहीं आ okay. My slides are visible.
Yes.
Target 8.8 focuses on. I'm on 8.8.
But it is still showing 8.4, ma'am.
Sometimes if the net is slow, then it lags. It's time.
Yes. Mehta ma'am, you do one thing, ma'am.
Yes, give me
the slide. Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Okay.
And ma'am, if you don't make the slideshow, so it will work, ma'am. Actually, for making the slideshows, we need more high resolution network bandwidth, ma'am.
Again, I am sharing.
Okay, ma'am. Please share.
नहीं रहने देते ऐसे.
Ma'am, 8.8, right. Protect labor rights and promote safe and secure working environments.
Okay. Now, target 8.8, protect labor rights and promote safe and secure environments, secure working environments. We have to protect labor rights and promote safe and secure working environments for all workers. Example, migrant workers, in particular women migrants and those in precarious employment. Next target focuses on promoting beneficial and sustainable tourism. By 2030, we have to devise and implement policies to promote sustainable tourism that creates jobs and promotes local culture and products. Target 10, that is 8A, strengthen the capacity of domestic financial institutions to encourage and expand access to banking, insurance, and financial services for all. Target 8B, increase aid for trade support for developing countries, in particular least developed countries, including through the enhanced integrated framework for trade-related technical assistance to least developed countries. Last target, that is 12, 8C, develop and operationalize a global strategy for youth employment and implement the global jobs pact of the International Labour Organization. These are some of we have to do. Goal, a charity you want to support, any donation, big or small, can make a difference. Organize a mentoring program, invite people with experience in a certain field to create a mentoring group that will help young people better prepare for their future jobs. Be a conscious consumer. If something is cheap, it is likely to be hurting people or the planet in some way. Know your rights at work. In order to access justice, knowing what you are entitled to will go a long way. Read about workers in other countries and business practices. Talk to your colleagues about these issues. Buy from local producers. Support local economic growth by choosing to buy from local producers and businesses. Stay informed. Follow your local news and stay in touch with the global goals online or on social media at the rate of global goals. So if we want to achieve something, we have to be connect with different countries and businesses, and these are the points which we have to do to achieve goal 8, that is economic work and decent work and economic growth. These are some of the glimpses of our activities which we perform at Career College, Bhopal, India. We provide these sessions to our students so that they can achieve some decent works and which will be helpful in economic growth of our country. These are some of the sessions on professional ethics which we organize, like we organize sessions for time management, personal counseling, moral values, transracial meditation, human values, etc., etc., etc. We have tie-ups with IIT International, and we provide facilities to our students, like we provide them these type of projects which are developed by international and national institutes like IIT Bombay, and we provide this facility to our students, and we tie up MOUs with this kind of institutes. These are some of the gender sensitization for issues which we focus, which we organize in our institutes. We organize programs on Literacy Day, Women's Day. Self-defense classes are organized for girls, Girl Child Day, AIDS awareness camps, Girl Child Day, literacy awareness, health and hygiene, etc. Sessions are organized on human values also, health checkup camps, Bima Jagrukta rallies, joy of giving sessions are organized by each and every department. We visit old age homes, orphan houses, and some AIDS awareness rallies, health checkups camps, etc. These are glimpses of extension and outreach programs which are provided which are organized by Career College. We promote Swachh Bharat, which is dream of our honorable Prime Minister, and literacy awareness camps are regularly organized by Career Group of institutions. AIDS awareness, Save Girl Child sessions are organized. So this type of activities are organized at Career College to promote decent work and economic growth of the country. To achieve these goals, we have to join hands, and if we can do something for our country, which it will be very helpful. And lastly, I am thankful to organizers for providing me this opportunity to share my views on 8 and targets on goal 8, for giving me responsibility of sharing targets of goal 8. And I am thankful to Dr. Supriya, Dr. Gunjan, Witty Gossip, and all other organizers and other collaborative institutes who are involved in this international summit. And last but not the least, I am very thankful to my management, my chairman, Mr. Manish Ajoria, and my principal, Dr. Charanjit Kaur, and all my colleagues for giving me this responsibility for sharing my views on Goal 8 targets. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jaswinder Mehta. Thank you. And actually, I just want to say that you talked about the human trafficking, ma'am. Yes, definitely. If we want to achieve,
I think some
target of
technical issue is
sustainable
there. I'm
development
not
goal
able
8,
to.
you are not able to hear, ma'am.
No.
Ma'am, am I audible to you, Mehta, ma'am? Mehta,
Yes.
ma'am, am I audible
Now,
to you? Okay.
now you are audible.
Okay. So, ma'am, please do this. Yes, ma'am. Please do this, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Yes. Thank you.
I'm thankful to Dr. Esther Mala,
Yes,
Dr. Christiana. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Yes. Okay. So thank you, Dr. Jaswinder Mehta. You actually aided very crucial issues related to the Sustainable Development Goal, which is human trafficking. And definitely, if we want to achieve the targets and if we want to achieve the challenges related to the Sustainable Development Goal 8, so definitely we have to stop the human trafficking, and definitely we have to promote the professional ethics. As you said that in the Career College Bhopal already the whole institution is dedicated to uh, to teach the all the students about the professional ethics lessons. So thank you very much, ma'am. We salute all your sincere efforts to educate all the young minds, ma'am. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Now, moving ahead, I would like to request Randy Landezo. Randy Landezo, sir, the Director of Academic Excellence from the land of Philippines, will be the next speaker. Sir, you are already co-host now. You can share your screen, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Supriya Patak, and to the rest of the team who's organizing this wonderful gathering. So, once again, good afternoon from the Philippines, mabuhay, and good noon to India, and good day to all of
Mabuhay,
us
sir.
around the
Mabuhay.
world. Yeah, mabuhay. Okay, so I'm very lucky. I'm so honored and privileged to be speaking in front of you today. So, And I'm so excited as well to be sharing my thoughts about the SDG number 8. So let me share my screen. Please let me know if you're seeing my screen now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So thank you so much, Dr. Supriya. So once again, mabuhay. I'm from the Philippines. I'm Randy Lenoso, and I represent the G𝐥𝐸𝐏𝐞a𝐜 International Schools. And as you can see, I've represented just only one schools, but a network of international schools from basic ed to higher education institutions. So we are focusing, this institution is focusing on hospitality, tourism, culinary, and entrepreneurship programs. And I know that we have already the first speaker from the Philippines, Dr. Raymond, and I'm so happy as well that those programs actually are truly related to our programs as well and to the directions that we're heading towards, globally competitiveness. But of course, let me share quickly that this is really very interesting topic, the SDG number 8, which is the decent work and economic growth. So, in the pursuit of sustainable development, nations worldwide are increasingly turning to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals as a roadmap for progress. Among these goals, the SDG number 8 stands out as a pivotal pillar for fostering sustainable economic growth and prosperity. In the context of the Philippines, a nation marked by a dynamic economy and a burgeoning workforce, the imperative of achieving SDG number 8, decent work and economic growth, holds profound significance. So in the Philippines, with its rich tapestry of culture, abundant natural resources, and a resilient population, has long been hailed as one of the Southeast Asia's economic powerhouses. However, amidst its economic successes, the country grapples with persistent challenges such as economic inequality, underemployment, and informal labor practices. So, in the light of these complexities, the pursuit of sustainable economic growth emerges not merely as an aspiration, but a pressing necessity for the nation's development trajectory. This SDG number 8 encapsulates a multifaceted approach to economic progress, emphasizing the creation of decent employment opportunities, the promotion of inclusive entrepreneurship, and the implementation of policies that foster innovation and productivity, by which we need to align strategies with the principles embedded within the SDG 8. The Philippines can, can chart a course towards a more equitable, resilient, and prosperous future. Moving on, this particular SDG promotes sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent for all work. As shared by most of our speakers earlier, it was so it was so exciting to say, and it's common to all, that we truly understand what is this SDG all about. But sometimes we tend to forget our value or contribution on how to make sure that this SDG are also fully understood by each and every one of us. We're all educators. Maybe we're students. We're learning from each other. And that is why we need also to challenge ourselves what else we can do in order for us to make sure that we're also contributing to the world. So what's really the importance of SDG number 8? This SDG focuses on promoting sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, which is full and productive employment and decent work for all. As I said, if Philippines, in the context of the Philippines, what we are trying to do now is also making sure that we aligned this goal to addressing the economic problems in our country. These are these are the initiatives that we're doing now in our country, creating jobs, fostering entrepreneurship, and ensuring fair and safe working conditions. And as I mentioned earlier, there are so many challenges or persistent challenges that we're facing in our country. And one of which is actually inequality. I know you had also some session about poverty and even the subpar educational outcomes, which is one of the foundations or fundamentals of living in this world, education. Healthcare access issues, which I know it entails as well, capital, it needs resources, it needs expertise and a lot more. Aside from that is insufficient foreign investment and of course corruption. So I'd like to give emphasize that achieving sustainable economic growth in the Philippines through SDGs, of course, the decent work and economic growth is somehow a dream for now. Maybe what we are experiencing in the country, in the Philippines, will actually be true to all. But sad to say, only few might, of course, can relate to the issues and concerns of our country. And other countries have faced are also facing different challenges. But as I mentioned, achieving the sustainable economic growth will still be a long way to go. So still a promise, still a dream that everyone has to take part. But what's nice about our government, they crafted actually, this is just to share with you, that the government, the Philippine government, has developed the Philippine Development Plan for 2023 to 2028. I guess it was shared also by Dr. Raymond earlier about this PDP. So what is PDP goal for? So the PDP aims to reinvigorate job creation and accelerate poverty reduction by steering the Philippine economy back to its high growth trajectory and effect economic and social transformation for a prosperous, inclusive, and resilient society, which I guess this will actually address the SDGs goal. So pertaining only or like relating to the Philippine context. And this particular PDP or the Philippine Development Plan for 2023 to 2028, it has set a socio-economic targets, which are to maintain annual economic growth rate between 6 to 7% in 2023 and between 6.5 to 8% from 2024 to 2028. Another target is to create more, better, and more resilient jobs. Aside from that, they're also targeting to keep food and overall prices low and stable. Aside from that, another target is to enforce fiscal discipline. Another target from the PDP is to transform the production sectors through innovation. And lastly, these are actually significantly improve the welfare of Filipinos and to reduce poverty. So looking at the socioeconomic targets of our country, well, I guess, as I mentioned, it will address already the SDG, the decent work and economic growth, which set by the United Nations. Because all of these plans were actually aligned or linked to the SDGs of the United Nations. But let me share with you more importantly, those persistent challenges which I've presented earlier. The first one is addressing unemployment. So what are the things that we need to do as as we work in private sector or working in the public sector? So unemployment remains a significant challenge in the Philippines. And this particular issue is oftenly associated with youth and vulnerable groups. So, what I suggest, and one of the things that maybe we have to consider, or the government will consider, is to implement policies and initiatives that promote job creation, vocational training, and entrepreneurship. As shared with you by one of our speakers earlier from the Philippines, is to promote is the vocational training. As Just for example, the G𝐥𝐸 International School, we also offer the same TVET programs. We develop our local people to be globally competitive. And so luckily, as mentioned by our one of the speakers earlier, that some of our fellow men are now working in Croatia. And that's so nice to know that they love or like Filipinos working in other countries. And that is because that's the agenda right now of our government to ensure quality education or training, which is accessible to all people. And vocational training in our country is for free. And that's nice about the vocational training. Though some colleges or some technical vocational institutions, they also have some standalone programs which you need to pay. But most of the vocational trainings right now in our country is now funded by our government, which is nice as well to all people or families who are now striving to to have a living and to have something for their family. And as shared as well about entrepreneurship. So what we are doing right now in our different institutions, especially in higher educational institutions, we really integrate entrepreneurship course or training to our curriculum. And that is to make sure that each and every student has an idea on how to start their own business, which they don't need to get or have really big capital just to establish one. So aside from that, another concern is about underemployment. So we know already what is underemployment, that is, that it refers to employed but not fully utilized, which is also prevalent in the Philippines. So what we can do actually is to encourage industries to provide quality employment opportunities, investing in skills development, and promoting labor market flexibility, which can address underemployment issues. So these initiatives should also come from not from the government, but from the industry or private sector. So each and every one of us, as I said, plays a vital role. So we need also to encourage the industry to take part in this, in this agenda, in this march, in this mandate that everyone should take part. Another issue is about promoting economic growth. So inclusive economic growth ensures that the benefits of the development are shared by all segments of society, including marginalized groups. I indicated here the four pillars in inclusive growth, which are economy, living conditions, equality, and environment. You've shared earlier about people, planet, and what's it again? So there's another. So those are the things that we need also to consider. So what we are doing right now is, of course, to check where are we right now? What do we do in order for our economy to grow? Actually, who creates our environment are us people. Who actually gives quality and equality is us also people. So again, it will always boils down to each and every one of us, how we contribute to the development that we keep on talking, that we keep on saying about inclusive growth. So without discrimination, without dividing the groups, actually we can really say that there will be an economic growth. Of course, aside from that, implementing social protection programs, improving access to education and healthcare, and empowering women and minorities. As I shared earlier, we're so lucky that, in the Philippines, many are already enjoying free education. But the question is the sustainability. Sometimes even if you give free tuition, you give free training, the question is like, how they will, how they will live on a day-to-day basis. How about the food that they will be taking, their meals, their transportation from their house going to the training centers and all. So something that we need also to think about. And how can these families afford to travel and to avail? Even the government will provide the resources at school, will provide training, it is still the responsibility of each and every citizen in the country or anywhere in the world, how to make a living after or even before getting those free education. And as mentioned, empowering women is also another issue, which actually part of that inclusive growth. Aside from that, this is one of the strategies as well in making sure that we address the SDG 8. This is not just only our country, Philippines, but maybe across the world. This is also about supporting micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, or MSMEs. MSMEs plays a vital role in driving economic growth and employment in the Philippines. And we need to provide MSMEs with access to finance, technology, and markets, which can enhance their competitiveness and contribute to sustainable economic growth or development. So, as I shared, there are so many plans under the PDP or the Philippine Development Plan, which we are so lucky. It's just a matter of like how we implement and how these particular programs of the government will really work for the rest of its citizens, as well as to really encourage the private sector to take part on this journey. So aside from that is enhancing the labor rights and standards. So we're asking how people have a job and why Filipinos still travel around the world or look for jobs abroad or overseas. That's the question actually. And I guess that's very, very important because as of maybe it was last year that we have millions of Filipinos actually traveling to different places just to get a job. And why not they stay in our country, Philippines, and have some decent work? So that's a question. Well, maybe this particular concern or this in our screen can answer that question because maybe there is something wrong with the labor rights and ensuring decent work conditions are essential for sustainable economic growth is an issue. That is why there is sometimes rally. There is sometimes, migration to other places. So I suggest that there's a need for us to strengthen the labor laws, enforcing occupational safety, regulation, and promoting fair wages, which can safeguard in well-being of workers and boost productivity. I, for myself, I've worked really hard um, for this position and as well as making sure that I also contribute to our students, to the local community, to our people, and let them understand that, this is the only thing that Philippines can offer. That is why some of our graduates sometimes they will prefer or opt to apply for a job in other countries or overseas because they're seeing already good numbers or good opportunities. So those are the things that might as well might have some relationship with other countries. And of course, this is what I was sharing earlier as well about the public-private partnerships. This is not just sole responsibility of the government. This is not also sole responsibility of the private sector. There should always be partnership and collaboration. The term is really collaborate, make sure that this partnership will grow. And it will never just end with, um, you know, just have the pen and paper thing. This is not just about the MOA signing or the agreement or contract, but this should be in practice. Paper thing is just no, it's just another thing. It will just be the start or the beginning. But of course, what is important is to take an action after that signing paper. So collaboration between the government, private sector, and the civil society is crucial for achieving SDG. Public-private partnerships can also leverage resources. They can actually support, private sectors can actually provide some resources, or the government can also provide funds, into different private sectors. And those are the key benefits of the public and private partnerships, as shown in our screen. So, in conclusion, the pursuit of sustainable economic growth in the Philippines or maybe around the world through the lens of Sustainable Development Goal number 8. Decent work in economic growth is not just a lofty ambition, but a pragmatic imperative for a brighter future. By prioritizing policies and initiatives that foster inclusive employment, entrepreneurship, and innovation, we pave the way for a more resilient and equitable society. So, as we strive to overcome challenges such as unemployment, underemployment, and informal labor practices, we must harness the power of collaboration between government and private sector, the civil society, and academia, where we belong. Through coordinated efforts, we can create an enabling environment that empowers individuals, promotes economic diversification, and ensures that the benefits of growth are shared by all segments of the society. Moreover, integrating sustainability principles into our economic development strategies is not only essential for environmental preservation, but also for long-term prosperity. By embracing renewable energy, those are the things that we are discussing in the past days, sustainable production practices and responsible consumption of patterns, we can safeguard our natural sources for future generations while unlocking new avenues for economic growth. So, in this journey towards sustainable economic development, let us remain steadfast and our commitment to leaving no one behind. So, by championing social justice, gender equality, and fair labor practices, we can build a more inclusive and resilient economy that uplifts the lives of every citizen in the world. So let us work tirelessly towards realizing the vision and prosperous, equitable, and sustainable future for the world, where decent work and economic growth serve as pillars of progress for generations to come. So maybe for the country Philippines, job creation, support MSMEs, enhancing labor rights, and fostering partnerships can build a sustainable and prosperous future for all Filipinos. That's, I guess, that's all for now. Dagang salamat. Thank you so much from the Philippines.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. And I agree, sir, that we we encourage fostering partnerships. So definitely we can achieve the all targets of Sustainable Development Goal 8. So, sir, I believe that fostering partnerships are crucial point that we have to focus now in this ultra modern business world to promote the decent work, to promote the Sustainable Development Goal 8, sir. So thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Now, sir, would you like to do this, sir? So once again, right. Great, sir. Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes. So, dear Mala, would you like to share your views?
Yes, Dr. Supriya, I am really looking forward to motivate him further in our next SDG so that we can hear better things from him. Dr. Randy, your presentation is so impressive and splendid, descriptive, and right to the point. And you share in sharing the goals of SDG and the targets in pursuit of sustainable development. And you did touch on importance of SDG 8, touching on government initiatives, the financial aids, the programs and social commitments and technology as well. And you did also share the challenges focusing in every aspect of SDG 8, decent work, yeah, and economic growth. And you did also take us through the journey towards achieving sustainable economic growth, and that everyone should work hand in hand, particularly in curbing this unemployment issue in Philippines. Yeah, now I do agree, because graduate unemployment is a new employment issue related to employment in this era, 21st century. It's no more uneducated or illiterate people being unemployed, but now is the era of graduates being unemployed. So we all have to ask this question: why? If through my experience, you also did give the solutions how we can tackle these issues, and you touched on quality employment. This is what employment, recruiting the graduates particularly. Yeah. So like see a lot of and now to the latest development, what I discovered is that employers are not looking to graduates who go through a stereotype of trainings, but they just want basics, and they want to train the new recruits according to their industry. So we as educators, organizations, higher institutions, we got to prepare these skilled graduates who can fit into our economic and social lifestyle in each country. It varies, right? But of course, we all have a common goal. And you did also touch on enhancing labor rights and standards. Okay, so many more. We don't have much time because we got other speakers. But I think through my sharing with some of my friends, locals from Philippines, I have many friends in Philippines as well as foreigners living in Philippines. And I do collaborate with few Philippines organization, universities and organization. So this is what they shared. Why they migrate to other country. Yeah, this is the feedback I got. And it's because infrastructure in the terms of IT. Yeah. In Malaysia also, although we have a very good land infrastructure for IT, especially we have fiber optic, where I am involved in that business as well. So I know it's good, but still there's another form of infrastructure where it's needed to have very good Wi-Fi connection and all. And of course, another issue is transportation, low wages, social, geographical, political issues. I don't know if you agree, but this is what the feedbacks I got. So that's why. Thank you so much, sir. Wonderful sharing. We are looking forward to have you again in our next SDG, Global Peace Sustainable Development Goal again. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much for those kind words. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Rasamana. Thank you very much. Now, moving ahead, I would like to request Dr. Priyanka. Dr. Priyanka from Career College, Bhopal.
Yes, good afternoon, ma'am. Is my voice audible to you?
Yes, ma'am. Priyanka 𝐏𝐞a𝐜𝐞, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I pronouncing right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You are perfectly audible and perfectly visible, ma'am. And ma'am, your smile is it's a wonderful, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, I think you are already co-host and you can share your screen, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, I'm doing so. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Your screen is visible, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am, for inviting me for this wonderful session. Good afternoon to all once again. And I am Dr. Priyanka 𝐏𝐞a𝐜𝐞, Assistant Professor from Career College, Department of Commerce and Management. So in this Global Peace and Sustainable Development Summit, I'll be talking on equal pay for equal work topic. So to have a brief on this subject, when we say about this equal pay, there is one thing that when human beings fulfill their primary needs, he moves on to his next level of need, and which is very important for his workplace. So it is a well-known fact that when an employee who is involved in an activity cannot be paid less than other employee who is employed in similar activity. When we see all this thing, there is one key responsibility that the employer must do is that he has to pay each and every employee equal amount of pay, because all of them are performing the same share of responsibilities. So this was the core concept to introduce the doctrine of equal pay for equal work. Now, the concept of this equal pay for equal work says that says that every individual should be entitled to equal job, to equal remuneration when they are doing the same work, irrespective of whichever caste, gender, or religion they belong to. And in this, there should no discrimination between any individual, and they should receive the same amount of compensation irrespective of their personal characteristics. So now moving towards the sustainable development goals, equal pay for equal work is a very critical component, because we have to address several issues. And addressing this pay disparity, which is based on gender, we talk about race, we talk about ethnicity, we talk about many other factors. So by addressing all these things, a society can promote, if all these things are addressed properly, society can promote inclusive economic growth, thereby reducing poverty, and we can easily achieve the concept of social justice. Historically, we have also seen that women have been paid less than men for performing the same work, reflecting systemic discrimination and bias. Moving ahead, so what needs to be done is that we need to implement some kind of policies and practices for each and every workplace that will uphold equal pay for equal work. And it is not only a matter of human right, but it also makes economic sense too. So now the doctrine of equal pay for equal work under the Indian Constitution says that this whole concept, it has saves the interest of employees, thereby prohibiting any kind of discrimination that exists between the employees. Then we have Equality Act also in 2010, whereby both men and women, they get the right to equal pay for equal work. And this whole concept is again divided into three categories. One, we are having like works, that is similar tasks which require similar kind of knowledge and skills. Second, rated as equivalent, that is each kind of work is of equal value when we talk about how demanding that particular job is, and it is being rated under a valid job evaluation scheme. Thirdly, it is the concept of work of equal value, and it is different from like work and work rated as equivalent, but it is of equal value in terms of demand, and it all comprises of knowledge, decision-making power, caliber, efforts, and working skills. So apart from this, we are also having several legislations on equal pay for equal work. That is, we have Workmen's Compensation Act in 1923. We are having Minimum Wages Act of 1948. We have Equal Remuneration Act 1976, and we have Code on Wages 2019. Now, let us try to understand some of the strategies for achieving this equal pay for equal work in India, because this is not a very easy concept. It needs to be incorporated in organization, and each and every employer as well as the employee should know their right. So firstly, it is legislation and policy reforms. So what we need to do is that we need to strengthen existing laws and policies which are related to equal pay, so that we can provide a solid framework, legal framework for addressing these kind of wage related issues. Secondly, we can work on the principle of transparency in salary structures. So companies should have a clear-cut idea about how they have to pay their employees a proper pay structure. Then by ensuring all these criteria all across the employees, means it needs to be applied overall, irrespective of whichever gender they belong to. Then we need to have regular pay audit, and it should be very comprehensive one. We need to analyze the pay differentials at each and every level across various job roles. Next strategy is to promote gender diversity in leadership, that is increasing. Here, we need to increase the representation of women in leadership positions so that they can also raise their voice against this pay equity. And what company needs to do is that they should actively promote these kind of programs so that they can bring in more leadership roles amongst their female workers. Then we can work on the concept of this education and awareness program, because this awareness is very important for each and every employee as well as employer. They should know the importance of pay equity and the consequence. If, for example, they are not working on that concept, what will be the repercussions? They should also know this. Because this wage discrimination, if you are favoring this wage discrimination, it will not create a good climate in your workplace. Then negotiation and skill training is also there. So we need to provide some kind of training to this women so that they can negotiate for their better salaries. And when they will negotiate, they will speak about the hindrances. So definitely the gap of the pay gap will be solved. Then we can work on addressing unconscious bias. So for this also, we need to implement some kind of awareness training program so that we can make a proper decision on salary structure. And it also include whereby we can hire managers. Performance evaluators should also be there, so that we need to come across to some kind of compensation decision that it is made very soundly in companies. Then next, we can, one more strategy is that we can support for work-life balance. That is by offering flexible work arrangement should be there. Parental leave policies should be there. Child support. So all these things, they can reduce the impact of caregiving responsibilities on women career, so that they are promoted for better job opportunities. Then we can work on the concept of collective bargaining and unionization. So for this, formation of proper union should be there, so that if they feel that anything is not going in their favor, they can raise their voice. And at last, government initiatives and partnership programs should be there. So this is basically a collaboration between government agencies, civil society organization, and business. And it can lead to development and implementation, so that the strategies for this equal pay for equal work can be done in a very proper manner. Now, the main question arises is this, can this gender pay gap be closed? So yes, if we work on this principle, we can see that we can boost the household income, and we can also increase the women's economic empowerment, as we have discussed earlier. So all these things will ultimately enhance the overall productivity of the organization. And one more thing, additional, what we will witness is that it will automatically lead to greater workforce participation, which is very important to achieve the sustainable development goal. And all this thing will have a positive effect on our economic growth, thereby reducing the poverty. So this equal pay, when we work on this principle, it will automatically contribute to building a more resilient and sustainable society, because we are addressing all this kind of inequalities, which basically occurs and stops our way to to achieve progress in a very sustained manner. So for all this thing, when this will be done in a very systematic way, when this discrimination will be reduced, we will see that all this thing, by doing all this thing, promoting fairness and inclusivity in the workforce, we will see. And this is how society, our main aim will be this only, because through this, society can strengthen their social cohesion, which is very important. They can reduce their discrimination, and as well as they can create a wonderful environment where each and every employee in the organization will feel safe, secure, and will thrive better for each and every opportunity that will come across in his workplace life. So some of the key takeaways from this presentation will be this, that equal pay for equal work, it is not only a moral imperative, but if we want to achieve sustainable development, it is one of our most strategic priority. And by prioritizing this principle, and if we take concrete measures, we will be definitely able to address the pay disparities. And this is how a society will move a little bit closer to how to achieve the sustainable development goals, thereby building a prosperous and sustainable future for all. So this was all from my side. Thank you so much, ma'am. Hello, Supriya ma'am.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Priyanka. Thank you very much for your wonderful, amazing presentation. Ma'am, would you like to do this?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, please smile. Done, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay. So actually, we are having the problem of time. So now moving ahead, I would like to directly invite Dr. Savarna Sinha. And after the presentation of Dr. Savarna, we will review both presentations given by Dr. Priyanka and Dr. Savarna Sinha. So Dr. Savarna Sinha, you are already co-host, ma'am. Ma'am,
yes, ma'am.
Please
yes,
present your views, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay,
So shall I start presenting?
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Good afternoon, all esteemed participants of the Global Peace Summit. I'm deeply honored and privileged to address such a distinguished participants representing 70 countries from across the globe. Today, we will explore the theme that lies very close to our heart, titled Decent Work, a Path to Sustainable Development. This theme emphasizes the vital link between dignified employment and the sustainable progress of societies worldwide. So as we explore into this topic together, let me invite each one of you to join me in this endeavor. Let us illuminate the path forward and sow the seeds of progress for the betterment of generations to come. Having said this, let me begin the journey of decent work, a path to sustainable development. Let me share my PPT. I hope this is visible to everybody. Is it visible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. It's visible. Please carry on.
Okay, so let us move on to knowing. I kept my PPT very simple and very basic, keeping in mind that the students from different parts of the country, they have joined. So they first they should understand what actually this decent work means. And then we'll talk about various components of decent work. Decent work means everyone has good, safe jobs with fair pay and rights. It applies to all types of jobs and people, formal or informal. It is about the productive work, fair income, safety, and opportunities for personal growth and equality. Now let us understand the various components of decent work. There are 4 basic components of decent work. First is rights at work, where workers should have fair wages, reasonable hours, time off, and protection from discrimination. Second is social security. Workers deserve safe conditions, access to healthcare, pensions, and parental leave. Social dialogue. Employees should have a say in their workplace through unions and the ability to negotiate labor policies. And the last one is job creation. Everyone should have a chance to work in their desired field. So moving ahead to next slide. International Labour Organization Decent Work Agenda. Now, Sustainable Development Goal 8 aims for decent work and economic growth by 2030. It focuses on increasing productivity and reducing unemployment. This involves promoting entrepreneurship, eliminating forced labor and human trafficking, and providing full employment opportunities. The International Labour Organization's Decent Work Agenda is in line with the achieving these goals, addressing rights at work, job creation, social protection, and social dialogue. Then the Sustainable Development Goal 8 faces some challenges in implementation. So implementing the decent work agenda faces certain challenges, especially in Africa, where the most jobs are informal and lack benefits. Globalization makes it harder to find formal jobs. The International Labour Organization lists many problems like unemployment, unsafe work, and gender inequality. So to succeed, it is very important for all the countries to provide quality jobs and overcome obstacles. Now we also need the involvement of various organizations. So let us understand the role of national governments and international entities. Various organizations like national governments and international bodies such as the European Union, they can influence decent work. So government create jobs through policies, but the globalization makes it very hard to lower wages and less flexibility. Then celebration of World Day for Decent Work. October 7th is the World Day for Decent Work. On this day, trade unions and worker associations worldwide promote the concept of decent work through various activities like demonstrations, music events, and conferences. Moving ahead to understand and to know what is the impact of various initiatives taken by decent work. Decent work has impacted the life of all the workers globally through their various initiatives, especially the local communities. They got benefited because of the initiatives taken by the decent work. And they also empower workers to demand fair wages and safe working environments. Now let us know about the Decent Work, Decent Life campaign. This campaign was introduced in the year 2007 to promote decent work as the solution to poverty. It targets young people, activists, NGOs, and decision makers worldwide. The campaign aims to raise awareness and promote decent work. It achieved success with European governments and institutions signing a call to action in support of the decent work agenda. Now, Decent Work, Decent Life for Women campaign started in the year 2008 on International Women's Day. And the aim of this campaign was to make awareness for women in labor policies, and unions. Currently, 56 countries from all over the world are involved in this campaign. Now, Decent Work, Decent Life for Youth. It's a campaign dedicated to ensuring young people to have access to quality employment opportunities, fair wages, and safe working conditions. Decent Work, Decent Life for Migrant. It seeks to ensure that migrants have access to fair and dignified employment opportunities regardless of their immigration status. So last but not the least, Decent Work and Decent Life for persons with disabilities. It advocates for equal employment opportunities, fair treatment, and access to supportive environments for individuals with disabilities. Now, at the end, I can say collaboration and commitment from governments, international organizations, and civil society are essential to realize the vision of decent work for all, ensuring sustainable development and prosperity for future generations. Thank you all. And thank you, I'm thanking all the participants and the organizers for giving me an opportunity to discuss my views on decent work and economic growth. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Suvarna ma'am. Thank you very much. And ma'am, I love your presentation, ma'am. It's really, really awesome, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, you have introduced us about the World Decent Work Day, ma'am. Ma'am, it's amazing, ma'am. And ma'am, in a chat box, I am sharing my personal number with you, ma'am. And ma'am, in a future events, definitely we would love to collaborate with you and definitely Career College Bhopal. And ma'am, definitely on upcoming October 7, we will celebrate this day, ma'am. With ma'am, in with your coordination, ma'am. So,
thank
ma'am,
you so much.
in a chat box, I am sharing my number. Just hold on. Yes, ma'am. So,
Ma'am, we would love to
yes,
collaborate
ma'am.
with
So,
you
in a
in
chat box,
celebration of
everyone
this
can see
decent day
this
work.
is my WhatsApp number. Yes, this is my WhatsApp number. So, ma'am, please be connected with us, ma'am. Ma'am, I love your presentation. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much, ma'am.
So now, moving ahead, I would like to invite. Oh, sorry, ma'am, please do this gesture, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much.
So now, moving ahead, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Esther Mala to share your thoughts, ma'am, related to Dr. Savarna Sinha presentation, ma'am, and also for the Dr. Priyanka, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Supriya. Okay, first we'll go to Dr. Priyanka. Wow, Dr. Priyanka, what illuminating sharing you did. It's incredible as well. And you touched on this most sought after topic in this world now, equal pay for equal work. And I think 2 days ago, I was sharing about this on gender equality and related to many areas. And one of this is equal pay for equal work. Because according to the research done in 2020, 46 women with same qualification and same qualification with men, same job scope, are earning 46% lesser than men. So, I see that you have also shared your strategies in achieving equal pay for equal work. And women in leadership programs, yeah, you suggested that is also very good. And educating employees and employers. This is very crucial because about importance of equal pay and equal work, because unless there's a balance of empathy, I would say, empathy between both parties, employer and employee, this can never be achieved. Because as we know, this is a male-dominated world. Not now, centuries ago started. So the men have to gift this rights to the women. Unless the men are prepared to give this status to women, we can never achieve it. And in order to receive this gift from men of the world, we have to be working towards it. Yeah, working towards doesn't mean demand for our right, protesting and all that. That is not the easiest way and the right way. We have to work hand in hand with men. Men need the help of women. Yeah, even at home, they can't cook and eat their own food. They always look to their mothers. After getting married, they look to the wife, although they can cook, they are better cooks, but still, they depend on women. Yeah, especially at old age. But we women are very independent, multitasking and all that. So I like these subtopics which you touched, and you suggested these plans to eradicate or decrease the pay gap, yeah, between men and women. So, and then, so ladies, we have to work hand in hand. Just don't demand for our rights. I think it's not fair, right? So we work hand in hand. And then you did touched on the negotiation skills, which is so important. Negotiation, not in the terms of finance or what we want. Also, negotiating in understanding the man. Yeah. And work-life balance. This is another important thing, we have to focus on. And I think we have to work together on that. Potential leave and I'm not sure. Then government initiatives, yeah, is also equally important to achieve the gender pay, to reduce the gap between gender pay. So what I can say is, women, if you ask me, it's not equal pay. Men and women should have equal pay. Because when they have equal qualification and same number of hours they work, women should be paid more than men. This is what I would advocate. You know why? Because men only go to work and earn money to support the family. But women not only earning money. Nowadays, women are highly educated. They are career women. They come back. They also contribute physically, even pledge their life for every childbirth. So man is bringing back money, but woman is pledging her life, her entire life for the family and for the employer. So in this context, I think we all should also consider, the male employer should consider women to be paid more, higher if not. Yeah. So men, unless you gifted this gift to every woman, can never achieve it. Thank you. Wonderful sharing, ma'am. And next, Dr. Swarna Sinha, you eloquently shared, and your presentation is precise and so pleasant, like what Dr. Supriya said. I think we should have you, on our platforms to share about decent work, decent life, for everyone. And you touched on standards and the rights at work, yeah, by creating employment. And you touched the challenges in achieving this decent work, a decent life. Ma'am, it's really amazing. Thank you so much. We love to have both of you again on our platform. Thank you.
Okay, so moving ahead, now I would like to call the students of the Career College Bhopal. Yes. So Niharika, are you there? Are you ready, Niharika?
Yes, ma'am, I'm ready.
Okay, Niharika. So all students, I am requesting to all of you, please pay attention on your time, and you have to complete your presentation in the time frame of 5 minutes. Okay. Yes. So please go ahead, Niharika. Please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Is my screen or my presentation visible to all?
Yes, it's visible.
Yes, dear, it's visible.
Okay. Warm greetings to all. I'm honored to be here today at this esteemed global summit, and I'll share insights on what India has done in promoting youth employment, education, and training under the Target 6 of Goal 8 of Sustainable Development. Firstly, the Indian youth represents not only the future, but also the driving force behind the country's prosperity and integrity. Throughout my presentation, I'll highlight India's innovative strategies and schemes aimed at harnessing the potential of our young demographic. From comprehensive educational reforms to skill development schemes, India has made significant strides in promoting youth employment, training, and education. Let us now look at some of the challenges faced by youth even today. Firstly, it will be the lack of job opportunities. Unfortunate to say, but due to the enormous population of the country, there is a great lack of job opportunities in certain sectors of the country. Second will be the skill mismatch. Due to a large population, and the education system also fails to provide proper vocational training needed to employ the students in various sectors. Hence, there is a great gap between the skills which are actually available in the labor market and between those skills available and required by the employers. Third, will be limited access to quality education. Even today, educational infrastructure disparities still exist, particularly in marginalized communities. Addressing all of these challenges is crucial if we want to move forward in promoting youth education, employment, and training. Now, let us look at what government has done in promoting youth employment. Firstly, the very first scheme which we'll be talking about is the Skill India Mission. It was launched in 2015 by the Prime Minister of India, and it basically aims to ensure that the youth of the country is equipped with all the skills and knowledge needed to launch and create businesses as well as to seek jobs. The second most prominent scheme will be the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, which is a flagship scheme of the government, which was launched in 2015 by the Prime Minister of India. And a major component of this scheme is the short-term training, that is STT. This short-term training is provided at various PMKVY centers, and it aims to educate the students who are college or school students or even dropouts as well. The PMKVY also encourages training in various government bodies. The third will be the National Apprenticeship Promoting Schemes, which basically encourages employers to engage apprentices, providing them hands-on training opportunities. Having said that, let us now look at what the government has done in promoting education of the youth, because children need to be educated, and as they are the future workforce of the country and will contribute to the economic prosperity as well. So the first will be the Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan. It's quite an old scheme which was launched way back in 2001, but it continues to upgrade itself even today. It ensures universal elementary education, particularly between the age group of 6 to 14 years. It ensures that each child has the opportunity to complete the elementary education. And under this scheme, the government provides midday meals, free textbooks, free uniforms, etc., to encourage more and more participation of children in schools. Second one, quite similar, the Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, that is the RMSA. It promotes secondary education way beyond the elementary level. And this scheme majorly focuses on strengthening infrastructure, providing teacher training, and also improving infrastructure in government schools. Third one will be the Pradhan Mantri Vidya Lakshmi कार्यक्रम. It was again a government scheme launched in 2015, which basically provides education loans to students who are aspiring to continue their higher studies both in India and in abroad as well. It provides a single window platform for students to access their education loans, reducing paperwork. Now next look at the training programs for skill development or the training institutes which are being set up for the skill development of the youth. The very first thing, industrial training institutes, that is ITIs. These are various institutes spread all across the country, over 14,000 institutes spread all across the country, which offer courses in various trades such as electricians, welders, mechanics, etc. The main focus is on practical hands-on training besides the theoretical knowledge. And it aims to equip the youth with the knowledge and skills which are required and relevant to the needs of the industry. Second will be the entrepreneurship development programs. The entrepreneurship development programs encourage youth to become job creators instead of job seekers. The main agenda is to provide them the knowledge and skills needed to create, launch, and manage successful businesses. They cover topics such as financial marketing, financial management, marketing strategies, etc. The third will be National Skill Development Corporation programs. The NSDC is a public-private partnership which basically aims to educate people, to encourage the youth to learn practical skills, and it has trained over 5.2 million people since its inception in 2008. Now, all of these things and initiatives have been discussed. What are its impacts or the achievements of all of these things? First will be the entrepreneurship and job creations. The old mentality that businesses are risky and cannot be taken up by everyone is slowly fading away, as more and more people are willing to take up businesses and manage them. So a lot of entrepreneurship has taken place, and it has empowered the youth to become job creators instead of running after the government job. Number of small startups and businesses have been created by trained entrepreneurs, all thanks to all these innovative strategies implemented. Next will be the growth of startups. So the valuation of all the
Dear Niharika, yes, dear Niharika, sorry to interrupt you. Dear, you please sum up fast. Could you please conclude fast?
Yes, ma'am. Already the last
Because
slide.
all your fans are.
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Yes, okay.
So the aggregate valuation of all the Indian unicorns in 2015 was around $100 billion, which has increased in 2022 to around more than $500 billion. So it shows the country's innovative startups. In conclusion, India's efforts to promote youth employment, education, and training under the goal rate of sustainable development has been commendable. India has been striving to equip its youth with all the skills and knowledge needed to thrive in the modern job market. However, challenges still remain. But as we move forward, let us remain dedicated in our steadfast efforts to empower youth. Together, let us continue to build a brighter future where every young person has the chance to realize their full potential and contribute to a more prosperous and sustainable world. Thank you for listening patiently.
Thank you, dear Niharika. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, dear Niharika, please do this. Niharika, you have to switch on your camera. Yes, please do this. Great, dear. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. So now, moving ahead, I would like to invite Anjita Acharya, right?
Yes, ma'am.
It's Anjita, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay, Anjita. So, Anjita, now the virtual stage is your, dear. Please present yourself, and dear, please take care about the time frame.
Yes,
You have only 5 minutes, right? Yeah, please present.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anjita Acharya. So today I will talk about how we can achieve the Sustainable Development Goals Target 8.7. So I will share my screen.
Anjita, is there any issue?
Yes, ma'am.
Ajita, you have to click on window tab, dear. Only then you can visible to see your presentation and share.
Yes, ma'am.
Dear, you have to click on window tab. Window tab. Where is your presentation is already open. Okay. Meanwhile, we can take the presentation of Vatsalya. Vatsalya, are you ready? And meanwhile, I will guide it to
Yeah,
Anjita. Vatsalya.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am, I'm ready.
Okay, you are ready. Okay. Okay. So, Vatsalya, please share your screen.
Sure, ma'am. Myself, Vatsalya Sharma, and it's first of all, it's an honor for me to be part of this summit on global peace and sustainable development.
Yes. Please start your presentation, Vatsalya. We can see your
Yeah, ma'am.
presentation. And please do not make the slideshow. Yes.
Am I visible, ma'am?
No, actually, yes. Now it's perfectly all right. Yes.
Am I visible?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
perfectly all right.
So
Please
today
go ahead.
I'm going to share and talk about resource efficiency, ma'am. First of all, I would like to share that resource using the Earth's limited resources in a sustainable manner while minimizing impacts on the environment. The resources we rely on are finite, meaning they will be eventually run out and they can only be replenished on at a certain rate. So, resource efficiency refers optimization of resource use to minimize waste and maximum output, of course. So this concept is essential for sustainable development, ma'am. And so next, as we go ahead, there are some strategies we can. The main strategy is the 3R: reduce, reuse, and recycle. It is a principle way that showcases the organizations can minimize waste generation by reducing consumption, reusing products or materials, and recycling materials to create new products. And there is one more main strategy called energy efficiency. Uh, by using in energy efficiency institutions and households, we can they can do the by using energy efficient technologies, optimizing processes, and reducing energy waste. They can contribute to environmental sustainability. They can improve their efficiency resources. The amount they can reduce the amount of energy required to produce goods and services. Uh, Moving ahead, there is a one more key aspect, water conservation. It is a crucial and for sustainable resource management. Techniques such as water recycling, rainwater harvesting, and efficient irrigation systems can help minimize water consumption. So, and next is the material efficiency. Uh, so it involves, this can include like lightning materials, designing
Vatsalya,
products for
there is a lot of
disassembly and recycling, and utilizing renewable and biodegradable materials, of course. So it involves
Vatsalya,
using
there is
fewer
lots of
materials or
interactive.
optimizing material usage to reduce waste generation and environmental impact. And moving ahead, so it is a principal focus on minimizing waste in production processes by eliminating non-value added activities, reducing inventory, and optimizing workflow. And next is the circular aims and take, make, dispose. Take, make, dispose actually, it's a resource where consumptions that product to a consumer then discards it as a way, make, dispose. The model aims to keep manufacturing and recycling. And moving ahead, optimize supply chains in need of the hour and enhance environmental and social sustainability assessment. We can talk about the throughout its entire life. No, talk on smart technologies, ma'am. This one. We can talk about in utilizing advanced technologies such as internet source usage, improve efficiency and reduce waste. Government has implemented government policies, regulations, and incentives plays a crucial role in promoting resource efficiency. These includes measures such as taxes on resource consumption, subsidies for green technologies, such as hydropower, geothermal energy, biomass, and biofuels development. At last, I would conclude my topic by governments and individuals can contribute to a sustainable development and environmental stewardship development. Thank you, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity to present here.
ठीक 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 ठीक. Thank you, Vatsalya. Thank you very much for your. Could you please stop sharing the screen?
Yeah, ma'am. Sure. Sorry.
Okay. It's okay. It's okay. Vatsalya, could you do this?
Thank you.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Anjita. Anjita.
Yes, ma'am.
Now you can share your screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, please share your screen, dear. You are already co-host.
Yes, ma'am. So today I will talk about how we can achieve Sustainable Development Goals Target 8.7. So this is we can see that it is a statement given by the United Nations that take immediate and effective measures to eradicate forced labor and modern slavery and human trafficking and secure the prohibition and elimination of the worst forms of child labor, including recruitment and use of child soldiers, and by 2025 end child labor in all its forms. Hello?
Yes, dear, you are audible.
Yes, you're audible.
Yes, ma'am. So we can see that we have seen some key terms like forced labor, modern slavery, human trafficking, and worst forms of child labor. Forced labor is when someone is made to work forcibly, like against their work, and without getting paid or without having any choice to stop working. As we know that everyone have the freedom to decide whether they have to work or not. Second is modern slavery. It is when people are forced to work or treated as property and exploited for profit. Human trafficking. It is the illegal trade of peoples, often for sexual exploitations against their will. Worst forms of child labor. It is when children are forced to work the dangerous and harmful works like handling chemicals, working in mines, and dealing with illegal activities like drug trafficking. And here we can see the challenges and obstacles. Lack of awareness, as we know that not enough people are aware about how big the problem is. Second is weak legal frameworks. Laws and rules are not strong enough to stop the forced labor and trafficking. Poverty and vulnerability. Poor peoples are more easily to be tricked and forced into bad jobs. Lack of coordination. Groups are not working enough to stop the forced labor. Migration. When people are moving to new places, then they are easier targets and they are easily exploited for profits. So here are the things that we can lead to progress. Like the initiatives we can do is spreading the word about forced work and trafficking, and encouraging companies to buy from fair sources, helping people who were forced to work, and the partnerships like countries and groups working together, non-profit teaming up to help survivors, governments, businesses, and non-profits working together. And the policies that we can follow is making laws stronger to punish traffickers and help victims, making companies show where they get their stuff, making sure companies treat workers right. And these are the things which are making a huge difference in fight against the forced labor and human trafficking. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, dear Anjita. Would you like to do this? Just hold on. I am giving you spotlight again. Yes. Again, you have to do this, right? Great. Thank you, dear. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ma'am, Ajurato Mena. Yes. Ma'am, yes. Ma'am, would you like to share your experience, ma'am, for today's session?
Ajrato will be the next speaker, ma'am.
Okay. Sorry. Ajrato Mena will be the next speaker. Okay. So, Ajrato Meena, please share your views. Uh-huh.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please share your views, dear. Please present. You are co-host already, dear.
Good afternoon to you all. I am Ajarato, and my topic of discussion under SDG 8, target 8.9 is policies to promote sustainable tourism, which is a tool for development. I am going to be talking about the most important thing in traveling, and that is sustainability. If we continue to act the way we have been, our planet will simply not survive. And on a smaller scale with a shorter time frame, if we continue to holiday the way we have been, the tourism will also not survive. So now let's see what sustainable tourism really means. First of all, we know that tourism is one of the world's fastest growing and most important industries, and is a major source of income for many countries. Sustainable tourism, therefore lies on the premise of taking care of the environment, the society, and the economy, which are the pillars of sustainable tourism. One might be wondering what sustainable tourism really means. In simple terms, It is defined as the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. For example, if litter is dropped on the beach and not cleared up, then the future tourists will not want to visit that beach. So its aim is to minimize the impact of its aim is to minimize the negative impacts and maximize the positive ones. Which, with this aim, sustainable tourism is not a choice, and we have no choice. But let's just say that it's a must, that it has to happen. Now let's see the importance of sustainable tourism. One is minimizing environmental impacts. This is by advocating responsible wildlife viewing, eco-friendly transportation, and conservation awareness. The second is for preserving natural resources. It ensures the preservation of natural resources by promoting renewable energy, water conservation, and eco-friendly waste management in tourist destinations. The third one is for supporting local communities by empowerment through direct tourist management, tourist engagement, and last but not the least is for protecting cultural heritage. And this is by respecting traditions, practices, historical landmarks, fostering local pride and identity. Now, these are the examples of sustainable tourism sites. The Yellow Mountain is found in China, the Gumufero in India, the Solar Resort in Fiji, the Masai Mara of South Africa, and the Riventazon River of Costa Rica. All of these are sustainable sites. Now let's see the overcoming challenges and embracing future trends in sustainable tourism. The challenges are over-tourism, inadequate infrastructure, and lack of awareness. The solutions to these problems are PPPs, which means the public-private partnerships. These are long-term arrangements between the government and a private partner, whereby the private partner delivers and funds public services using a capital asset, sharing the associated risks. Then the capacity building and education. And this can help stakeholders such as tourism operators, destination managers, local communities, etc. And the technology and innovation. The intersection of technology and sustainability presents important opportunities for positively transforming tourism. Example is by the use of AI tools, which is artificial intelligence tools. The future trends are responsible travel. Every traveler has to practice this responsible travel. And the second one is community engagement. The third is policy and regulations. The policy and regulation, government established rules, laws and policies that protect the government, cultural heritage sites, and local communities. This includes zoning laws, environmental regulations, and standards for sustainable practices in tourism industry. Now, the call for action is that the future of tourism depends on collective action from all stakeholders to promote and support sustainable practices. By working together towards a common goal of sustainable tourism, we can create a more resilient and inclusive future for the tourism industry By doing so, sustainable tourism will achieve its goal by the year 2030. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Thank you, Azarato Mana. Thank you very much. Could you please stop sharing a screen? Okay. Now, would you like to do this? Thank you. Thank you, dear. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, please tell me, do we have more student speakers or not?
No, ma'am. All only 5 speakers.
All are done.
Yeah, all are done.
Okay, all are done. Thank you, Dr. Savana Sinha. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. So now it's time to end the event. So now, dear Dr. Astara, I would like to invite you to conclude the session, dear.
Sure, Dr. Supriya, I'm ready.
Yes, please
Yes.
proceed, dear.
Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, especially the young ones, dear students, wonderful, amazing. Today is really a power-packed presentations. Okay, as we draw this conference to a close, I want to express my sincere gratitude to each and every one of you for your unwavering commitment to advancing Sustainable Development Goal 8, decent work and economic growth through your presentation and your presence here. You are a supporter of this SDG. Throughout our discussions today, we have delved deep into complexities of creating opportunities for decent work, promoting entrepreneurship, and fostering inclusive economic growth. We have shared innovative ideas, best practices, and valuable insights that will undoubtedly shape the path forward. However, our work does not end here. It's imperative that we carry the momentum from this conference into action. We are going to put word into action. For word without action is lifeless. Let us continue to collaborate, innovate, and advocate for the policies and practices that empowers individuals, promote equality, and drive sustainable economic development. Together, we have the power to transform our world for the better. Let us remain steadfast in our commitment to achieving standard SDG 8 and building a future where every person has access to dignified work and every economy strives. Thank you once again for your dedication and passion. Let us go forth, make a tangible difference in the lives of millions around the globe. Let us continue our journey tomorrow on SDG 9. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Professor Dr. Esther Mala. Thank you very much for your concluding address, dear. Thank you very much. And thank you all the participants. Thank you all the competent authorities of the Career College Bhopal. And once again, I would like to say and I would like to congratulate all the faculty members who participated, all the student speakers who participated in this event to make this more accomplishment and more successful. So thank you all the team of Career College Bhopal for organizing, for hosting the day 8. And at last, I would like to say that I am, ma'am, truly humbled and truly honored to Dr. Jaswinder Mehta for all her coordination, for all her support during this journey. Thank you, Dr. Jaswinder Mehta, ma'am, for all your cooperation,
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So
day
kind of
8,
you.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. So I would like to again say that in the chat box there is a link for the participant certificates. So whoever want the participant certificate, you can, all the students, all the faculty members who want the participation certificate, please fill this form to get the participation certificate. After 30th April, you will get the participation certificate. So thank you very much, Dr. Jasvinda Mehta. Once again, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Now it's the time to say goodbye. And all the participants, if you would love to wish to join again, so tomorrow we will have the session in the Parul University, Vadodara, Gujarat. Uh, Tomorrow, Parul University will join us as a host institute. So if you would like to wish to join us once again, so you can join us. Stay tuned with us on the day 9. So sorry, actually my network bandwidth was very low. So it's once again, thank you each and everyone. So it's the time to say goodbye, and I am going to end the meeting. Ma'am, Jaswinder Mehta, would you like to say something?
Link is Google form is not visible in chat box.
Ma'am,
No, it is there. It is there.
It is already
there, dear.
visible.
Yes,
But for
it's there.
your yes,
I don't know if I can. I don't know how to copy it. It's there actually, ma'am. Can you please check? It's there. I can
yes,
see
ma'am.
it.
Actually, it is already there.
Yeah.
Yes, 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 ma'am. Even all the participants
Yes,
can
now it
also
is
see.
visible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Okay. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. With your permission, Jaswinder Mehta, ma'am. Ma'am, could I end the
Now
meeting,
this
ma'am? Okay.
Yes,
So, ma'am, could I
yes,
end the
we
meeting?
can.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.